fun begins. The NBA playoffs are here, and it's time for all the high-stakes drama, clutch moments, and jaw-dropping plays. I can't wait. If you're looking to make the playoffs even more exciting, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered as an official sports betting partner of the NBA. From the play-in games all the way through to the finals, now's your time to back your favorite players and teams as they chase glory. All season long, DraftKings has been the go-to spot for NBA player props, and that doesn't stop now. Want to make your playoff experience even more intense? Try placing a bet on your favorite player's performance. Ready to place your first bet? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, lock in your bets, and let's make this playoff run unforgettable. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Make it a playoff run to remember with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code ROGAN. That's code ROGAN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Did you ever have any ambition to go pro, to take it to the next level?
Yeah, but there was no money. I remember I got offered $500 to do a kickboxing fight. And so if I did that kickboxing fight, I couldn't fight amateur anymore. And I was like, $500. So then I can't, like if I ever decided to like try to compete in the Olympics again, because I was trying to get on the national team to compete in the Olympics. But somewhere along the line, I got a little disenchanted with Taekwondo. And one of the ways that it happened is I started kickboxing and I started getting beat up because my hands were dog shit. So like I was really good kicking, but if I got into boxing exchanges, I was terrible. My chin was up in the air. I was swinging punches like a bitch. It was awful. I get hit really hard. If I hit you, you're in trouble. But It was not good. And so I realized like, oh, there's a giant flaw in this. Like for actual real fights, there's a giant flaw in this. And as soon as I started kickboxing, particularly this friend of mine who was a really good boxer, Dana Rosenblatt, he was one of my training partners, and he became New England middleweight champion. He beat Vinny Pazienza in a decision. He lost him one fight and then beat him in a decision. He was legit. He knocked out Howard Davis Jr., who was a Olympic gold medalist. He was a bad motherfucker. And he also, when I was training with him, made me realize that I didn't really want to do this anymore. That I was just doing this because I had done it my whole life, and this was like what I decided I was doing. And I was like, not only is there no future in this, there's a lot of brain damage coming my way. Like 100%, I'm getting it right now. And, just sparring with Dana, me and him sparring, I don't know how many times we sparred, but we would beat the fuck out of each other, dude.
Damn, really?
Oh, it was horrible. Yeah, I'd go home with headaches. And if we were in boxing range, he was tuning me up, so I was always trying to stay on the outside because his hands were way better than mine. But we cracked each other. Oh.
You and Dana White would fight?
No. My friend Dana Rosenblatt.
Okay, I was like,
no.
I heard Dana and I was like, wait a minute.
But if me and Dana were friends, we would do that too.
Yeah.
Like, I sparred with a lot of my friends. We beat the shit out of each other. It was horrible, but that's what you have to do. You know what the beautiful thing about jiu-jitsu is above kickboxing is you don't have this kind of animosity with your sparring partners. Because like if you're in a good gym, in kickboxing, you're always hurting each other. And it's like even if you love a guy and you spar with him, you're always hurting each other. So you always have this thing where you're like, fuck that dude. That dude gave me a fucking headache. You know what I mean? You think about getting him back. Like you think about it, he cracked you with a left hook. You're like, I am gonna get him back. I can't wait to get him back. Whereas with jiu-jitsu, you can't wait to tap somebody, but you're not hurting each other. You know, if you get hurt, it's an accident. The injuries in jiu-jitsu are usually strain related or, you didn't tap, right? It's either you strained to get out of something, or you pulled yourself the wrong way, or you didn't tap. But in kickboxing, like, your legs are getting fucked up every day. Wham! Wham! No matter what. And those pads, they help a little.
Damn, and they're huge, Joe, those pads. When they look like it when I watch them.
They help a little. Yeah, if somebody kicks you, like if Israel Adesanya kicks you with one of those pads on it, you can't believe
the
kind
fuck
of agony that's involved in that way to make a living. So I was only doing it because I didn't know what to do. I was still, but I wasn't the same person that I used to be. I was, at one point in time, I was just a mad dog. And then I realized, like, I'm gonna get really hurt, and there's no future in this, you know?
Wow. Were you already 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or did you just stop? 2 feet in, but you were like, I'm done.
You know what it was, really? I had one fight when I fought in the Nationals in Anaheim. And I beat the first guy, so I got into the second round. And the second guy was this kid, I think he was from Illinois, I don't remember. But he was like super aggressive. And I hit him with the hardest wheel kick I've ever thrown in my life. It was perfect. He charged in with like a left switch kick. So he was like, did a hopping roundhouse kick off the left side, and I recognized it right away. There was a pattern. He was making this pattern when he was moving. He would do this thing, and then he would always do this. He would do this thing, and then he would always do this. So I saw that pattern, and I said, here it comes. And so he went with this hopping roundhouse kick. I countered with this wheel kick. And I hit him so hard that my heel was sore for days. I was limping for days because of the way my heel bounced off his face. And he face planted, snoring. They snore when they go out. Have you ever seen anybody get knocked out?
Oh, yeah. They're
on the internet, of course you have. Well, I'd seen it a few times in the gym. It's spooky. It's spooky. And so my thing, what I would always do when I knock somebody out is walk away like it was nothing. Like, that's what I would do. Like, that's, I didn't celebrate. I just would turn my head and walk away.
Ooh.
And I was talking to my friend Junksick, who was, he was U.S. national champion. He was a training partner of mine. He was sitting in a seat, and I said, I'll never forget this. I'm like, are you moving? He's like, yeah, I know. And so then they get him an ambulance. And so they put this kid on a stretcher, and they have him sitting out there for 30 minutes, and he's just on the stretcher for 30 minutes, and then they bring him in the ambulance, and they take him to the hospital. And I'm like, yo.
When he said he wasn't moving yet, did you feel like?
Yeah, he could be dead. So this is what scared me. So I had this trainer, this instructor, who's like one of the best Taekwondo instructors in the world. And I say to him, what he said to me, he goes, I heard you had a really good knockout at the National. And I said, yes, sir. I said it was kind of scary because I thought for a while it was dead. And he goes, sometimes they die. And he walked away. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. And he was fucking serious. He used
Like
to
he's
train,
in Rocky IV.
He used to train troops in Vietnam. Like, he was a hardcore dude. He was hardcore.
Oh my God! Sometimes they die.
How sometimes they die. Yeah. I think it was Vietnam where he trained troops. I forget where he trained troops, but he was like an elite Taekwondo instructor, and he was, his mind was like, his name is Master Jae-Hun Kim, and he's the guy who runs the Jae-Hun Kim Taekwondo Institute. Like, that's his business, and that's the place where he went. And he was like one of the few guys that was trained under General Chae Young-Yi, who was the founder of Taekwondo. So there's a handful of black belts that were trained by this one guy. So it was like a different style. So their style was very violent and very power-oriented. Whereas there was like an Olympic style that was emerging, that was very points-oriented. It was just move fast and like tap and score, and they would yell and shit like that. Like every time they'd hit, they'd scream out. And so the Olympic style was more effective at winning tournaments. And so the best guys were adopting like this Olympic style. But there was an older style that was just, maybe they telegraphed the moves a little bit more, and maybe it was a little slow, but the impact was very different. Those guys were killers.
Yeah.
They were knocking people unconscious. It was very scary. So that's the gym that I grew up in. So I had this very fortunate place that I just stumbled into. You know, I happen to be like one of the best Taekwondo gyms in the country, especially for generating power, because they like really emphasize heavy back work. Like, he really emphasized heavy back work. He said you have to generate power. If you hit somebody and it doesn't hurt, it's ridiculous. You gotta be able to hit someone and just put them out.
Would you get into a lot of street fights before this, or even before Taekwondo? You weren't even getting into fights or something
before
like that?
Taekwondo, I was a pussy.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't fight at all. So like, why would I get in fights? I was trying to get away from fights. I was trying to avoid everybody. I was terrified.
Wow.
And so I just got tired of being fucked with because I was a pussy. Because I would get nervous. Because I moved around a lot. I didn't have a lot of friends. We moved a bunch of times when I was a kid. So I was always around new kids. and I wasn't big, so they would fuck with me. You know, it's just normal. So and I didn't know how to fight. It like bothered the shit out of me. So I'm like, well, there's only one solution. You know, you got to become what you're scared of.
So you put yourself into Taekwondo. You were like, hey, I want to do this.
Yeah, got a job, started working, washing dishes at Newport Creamery, got enough money, started to take Taekwondo.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And then I started going every day. So after a while, he realized like it would be better if I was just there all the time instead of working. And so he gave me a job.
I did not know that about you.
Yeah, so I was teaching. So I started teaching when I was like 15. I was teaching people when I was 15. And then when I was 19, I was teaching at Boston University. I used to teach a class, accredited class. It was pass, fail, A. And I would tell everybody, it would count towards your GPA. So I'd say, if you come here, you get an A. That's all you have to do. Just try. You're going to get an A. And it counts towards your GPA. And I'd tell them that at the beginning of the class. I go, if you can't come, if you can't make it, just call me and tell me that you can't make it, but I want you to come. I want you to come every time you can. And if you do that, I'm going to get you better. We're all going to learn something. I'm going to really get into this. So I was really good at teaching. I was really, really into
That's
teaching.
how you were in there. In the gym when we work out, you had that same energy. So it's like, oh, that came from a place.
Yeah, well, that's what I was doing for a living. So from 15 to 19, I was just teaching. So what my instructor allowed me to do, I guess I was training after about 6 months or so. He said, look, you could train here for free. All you have to do is teach private lessons. And I was like, great. So I would teach people, the new people. I would teach them how to bow. I'd teach them how to tie their gi on. I would teach them how to stand. I would teach them different techniques, and I would go through them and get them so they're ready to join into group classes. Because you couldn't just go into group classes. You wouldn't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like that front kick, you're like, ooh, looking around. Someone's got to teach you how to do it. So it was always like a big deal to let like one of your little birds loose into the main class. Like you teach them, get their front kick going, get the side kick going. They go through a series of private lessons. I tell them to practice on their own, look using the mirror, give them a bunch of like things to think about as they break down the movements.
And you just literally, I've seen you do it in there. That is what the mothership is. It's really just a fucking dojo to get better.
Yeah.
And everything is about everyone pushing each other to get better and like learning together.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, you've been on this teacher shit.
Well, that's also what my instructor explained to me when I was really young, too. Like, I say this all the time. I even said it on the podcast yesterday. Martial arts are a vehicle for developing your human potential. That's what it is. It's just you're using martial arts as a way to get better at life. Because this is a really hard thing. And if you could do this really hard thing, other things won't be as hard. You'll be able to, you'll have more mental and physical horsepower for regular everyday life. You'll have more ability to overcome adversity and weird moments, uncomfortable moments. You're used to being uncomfortable. It's fun. You'll be fine. It's different. Yeah.
See, I came up, I played football, college football. Like I was a football player my whole life. And that was,
Bro, that was another one for brain damage.
that's,
How's your head? How's your head,
I mean,
dog?
I'm addicted to training porn. There's some problems. So I got some problems. I got some demons, dude. But I agree. But the idea of like, because that's so yourself. You're dealing with fighting. You're dealing with yourself.
You're always yourself.
Whereas I came. My whole thing was team. Team. You get to lean on people. You're leaning on each other, and that's what's making you better. Is how do we play the best as a group?
Right.
You know.
Well, that's great too, and I think that's probably more beneficial to society. Is learning how to play in a team. My problem was like, you know, when I
I was a bad motherfucker,
Bro, look at
dude.
you, handsome all thin. Look at you, so handsome. You're good looking. You look like a fucking model, dog.
Oh,
Look at
dude.
you.
I went to that's one of the top high school football
Bro, we
schools
gotta
in
get
the
you
country.
back to looking like that. You could look like that again.
I know.
You just get away off the car.
They're so good. Oh, they're so good, dude. Come on. Hot
They're
Cheetos
so
and pasta.
good.
Oh,
They're
my
so
God.
good.
And then just, because you stopped, you told me the other day you haven't been drinking again. You stopped
It's
drinking,
been,
right?
Yeah, it's been more than a month now.
Yeah,
A month
'cause-
and some weeks.
You walked in and you were like, 3 weeks off, boys. And I was like, Jesus, fuck, dude. This
Bro,
is animal.
I had all this fucking side fat and belly fat that just went away. But most importantly, I just feel better. Like I never have days where I'm recovering from being drunk. Like I sound like shit now because I have allergies, which is hilarious because I always made fun of people. I was like, they're like, yeah, in 3 to 5 years you'll get allergies. I'm like, shut up, pussy. Like, I'm not getting these fucking bitch ass allergies you guys get. Now here I am. Ugh.
Yeah, so you might be.
Yeah, it's so annoying. It's so annoying for everybody to be right.
Yeah, my wife gets me on that honey, natural. If you get honey from a local honey, it gets rid of your allergies.
I've heard that too, but the lady that we had in here that was a beekeeper said it's bullshit. Yeah. Not only that, she said most honey that, like, not most, she said a lot of honey that you buy in the store is not really honey. Yeah, they fuck you. They put, like, corn syrup and fucking this and that. And yeah, they have fake honey.
Fuck, man.
Isn't that crazy?
Is anything real?
Isn't that crazy?
Why would they do that?
China. They're getting us. They're like, these dummies, they're not going to check.
They're not gonna check. Because
Do
it's
you
like,
remember what she said, Jamie? What percentage she said? But she did say that a lot of honey was fake honey, right? Bro.
it doesn't make sense because that's such a thing that's been natural in my head since the dawn of time, right? Honey.
Have you ever seen those cats that in the Himalayas? I think is it Tibet? Where is it where they get that psychedelic honey? Called mad honey. Remember, Jamie? Who brought that in for us? We did it during the show. Yeah, we took some mad honey during the show.
How was the trip?
That's right. Shout out to Sonny. It wasn't. I mean, I was fine. We really didn't do anything that crazy. You definitely knew that you were on something. But he was like, take a little bit. I'm like, fuck this. Give me a teaspoon. I took the whole teaspoon. I'm like, let's go. I'm like, I want to go. Like Joey Diaz always says, I want to meet the devil. Fuck your microdosing. I'm trying to meet the devil.
You guys are fucking crazy. I would see you do that before
Joey
stage.
Diaz school.
You would take a full nugget of a mushroom.
Don't tell the police are listening.
Okay. You were eating something. I don't know what it was.
I think that is the first thing we have to make legal. We've got to get Trump on mushrooms. Just get him to have a little microdose. He'd be like, I'm really killing the game. You are killing the game, sir.
My wife is
These
hot.
mushrooms great.
Yeah. God, that'd be crazy to him on mushrooms.
Oh, my God.
Just
So
open it
every
up.
politician should be on mushrooms. All wars would end. Do you know how crazy that is for me to say that, and it's also true? It sounds so stupid, also because it's me and I'm stupid. But if like a scholar, if someone who you really trusted, the pinnacle of science today, said if we could just get the whole world on mushrooms, all the wars would stop.
It's definitely believable.
Everyone would stop dehumanizing people. Everyone would stop treating people like others. Everyone would realize, like, oh wow, we're really all connected in some bizarre way that's difficult to interface with sometimes. But we're all connected. We get selfish and we think about ourselves only. But if we cannot, that's like one of the beautiful things about camaraderie and community. If you cannot, then you all sort of like lock in. You're like, we're all experiencing this thing together. We're all like one thing that's separated by biology. But our soul, our spirit, our whatever it is that is us inside of our meat bag is a soul. It's connected to all the other souls in some strange way. And if you can figure out, it's almost like you're listening to it's almost like there's jackhammers going off around you, but you hear a really good song in the distance. Like, God, let's hear that song.
Almost beautiful.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you ever been at a restaurant, everybody's talking, but there's just some jam is playing on the radio, and you're like, God, I want to hear that song.
Yeah, just some Marvin Gaye
That's
seeping
what
through.
it's like. That's what it's like.
Yeah,
I think there's different strategies that people use to try to get there, and I think God is one of them. Like even the concept of God, I think what you're trying to do is to get to that place where you recognize, like through strategies of like tactics of following commandments and having a mindset and giving all your faith to Jesus and all your faith to like just by act of doing that, what you're doing is you're trying to get closer and closer to whatever the fuck that beauty. Oh, you watch the soul leave his body.
I saw it, Joe.
Spiral back down into his.
It was scary. I remember how scared I was for this grown man. I'm like, oh my God, he hasn't moved. And you just see that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I saw that
might
live.
be one of the best front kicks of all time. That's perfect. The technique is perfect.
I mean, and that's a real picture. That's a live, that he made his face look like that.
That's so crazy. He looks like a grandpa in a Pixar movie. Doesn't he?
But that was a scary. That was the scariest one I've seen. But my favorite knockout I've ever seen was that. I mean, we were all in the green room. I don't know if you were there for this one, but it was Whitney's weekend. It was 12, 15 of us in that green room, and it was when Izzy knocked out Poetan, knocked out
Oh my
Pereira.
God. That
he
was
got
the
him back.
greatest celebration of all time.
At all
time.
fortify your mind.
Yeah.
That line sticks
Not
with me. I
just
say
that,
it to
the
myself.
whole thing from beginning to end, the 3 arrows into his body while he was down.
Breaks it.
Yeah, Izzy looks at his son and then falls on his back to mock his son because his son had mocked him. That's
Years
how
ago.
petty he is. Years ago.
was Kill Bill
so
level
he looks
revenge.
at his son who falls down like the kid did.
Yep.
A little kid.
And then he pops back up.
Then he pops back up and then he gives like the best post-fight speech in the history of the sport.
It was like he wrote it
Yeah.
already. It was beautiful. I remember how
I wish you
beautiful
could
it was.
feel this one time.
In your life.
Yeah. Here it is.
Oh.
Now watch this.
I mean, that lights you up, dude.
Bro, and then watch this. He finds his son.
Remembers.
Look, he remembers. look, points to you. Look, you. Check this out.
That kid's like 7 years old. That's fucking. I mean, that's literally.
That's so petty. That's so petty. That is so petty. Wait, he remembered. Found him.
Oh, yeah, he's like, oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Check this out.
Motherfucker, like I forgot. Now, Joe, was he
Oh, my
lulling
God.
him? Was he when he?
No,
when
he was
looked-
getting fucked
He was
up.
really getting fucked up. Okay.
Yeah, his leg, he told me that his leg was getting compromised already. One of the things in the first fight, so the first fight in the UFC, Poatan wins, and he wins by stoppage, and Izzy said, I wasn't even really hurt, I just couldn't move because he had fucked my leg up so much, I couldn't get out of the way of his punches. He's like, but I wasn't hurt, like real badly hurt, to the point where he's wobbling. He's like, my leg wasn't working. He kicked the shit out of his leg. His calf kicks are so nasty. He's like, out of all the people in the sport, he's the worst guy to have kick your calves. Because he sneaks them in, and there's 2 and 3, and before you know it, fuck, my leg don't work anymore.
God.
And now you're trying to get away.
It's teeing off.
And you got one leg, and you're trying to dance and pretend, so you're putting all the weight on this leg. So you're trying to pretend like you got 2 legs, but he can tell. He can tell. Thud. He hits it again, thud. So he had Izzy in real trouble, but he opened up too much. He's opened up too much. And, you know, to order to, like, close in on someone and bang them out, like, you got to leave yourself exposed sometimes. There's risks to reward, right? And the cautious, patient thing to do is you throw a lot of feints and then you throw your shots in.
Yeah.
But he was just teeing off at this point. And when you're just teeing off, you're assuming that the guy's incapable of countering to a certain extent. Or not that he's incapable, you're taking the risk of getting countered. You know, whereas if he just kept playing that game and like feinting and moving and slowly picking and poking and knowing, he just charged in a little too much. He thought Izzy was hurt more than he was. And then Izzy got him.
That right hand.
He got him.
Fucking.
One of the greatest knockouts of all time, especially when you think about like the significance of it and you think about like historically, 2 great champions, one guy who had knocked him out in kickboxing and then knocked him out in the UFC and then he knocks him out cold and gets petty. And then after petty gets super inspirational.
Yeah.
And gives one of the greatest post-fight speeches of all time. I think the greatest. I don't think there's ever been a better. Oh, maybe Rose Namajunas. That was right up there too. That one made me cry.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, she's sick. She's a badass too. Yeah. But yeah, that Izzy one, man. He's the reason he got me into the idea of UFC. I never, before he got into, because he was into the nerd stuff.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that there was a guy who was like being like, yo, I'm a nerdy dude. I like nerd shit.
Yeah.
And I'm kicking the fuck out of people.
Mm-hmm.
And that got me locked in.
And also like a sweetheart
the
of a
best.
guy. So fun. Just to hang out with and shoot the shit. He's silly. He's fun.
Oh, dude.
He's playful. He's just a real good guy. Real smart.
Oh, he took us to a club when we were in Brisbane with me and Schultz and him.
Oh, no shit.
And we just danced until like 3 a.m, just fucked up.
That's
It was awesome. He took us to like some local spot that he likes,
that's
but he's the
awesome.
man, dude.
That's awesome.
He's just the fucking man. But yeah, the nerd shit made me lock in. I'm like,
Isn't it interesting how different those guys? I mean, like we were talking about, like Dustin Poirier, like having a regular life. Like the same thing with Izzy. Like, how do you have a regular life after you did that? You did that. You did that in front of the whole world. The whole world was watching. There was so many consequences on that fight because you were winning. He was winning that first fight.
Yeah.
He was winning. He was ahead on points. And then the 4th round, it was the 4th or the 5th where he got put out. It was devastating. Like this motherfucker got him again.
yeah.
Because he got robbed in the first kickboxing fight. Izzy got robbed, in my opinion. I watched that fight several times. I mean, robbed is a tough description, but I would say I do not agree with the decision. I think Izzy won that kickboxing fight. And then the second kickboxing fight, Izzy had him on skates. Izzy had him hurt at one point in time, but he recovered, and then he caught Izzy with a left hook from hell. Just a left hook from hell. That motherfucker hit so hard, dude.
Yeah, it looks scary.
He hit so hard, and he wasn't as big back then as he is now. Like, a lot of strength and conditioning work since then. Like, he doesn't look the same like then as he does now. Now he looks way more strong. And so he knocks him out, and then they fight in the UFC, and he knocks him out again. And then Izzy finally knocks him out. And then
awesome.
puts the arrows in his body for the 3 times he beat him.
Yeah, I know.
He said that was like, he didn't even think of that. He just did 3. He just felt like doing 3, but it was really the 3 times he beat him.
And it just came out of his body.
Came out of his body. This motherfucker going 3 times.
Oh, I don't know who was on stage that night, but we ruined their set because they came on stage like, oh yeah, I'm in the middle of a joke and you just hear 30 people in the green room go, ah! And I thought Whitney too, ah! All of us, because it was just, oh, this is a moment, dude.
Yeah,
and you can
man.
feel it when the way he did it, and then when he's yelling. But that's one of the most inspiring, that speech. Whenever I'm working out or doing anything, that fortify your mind, it plays in my head, fortify your mind.
Jamie played that for us one time. It's like one of the greatest speeches of all time. And, he asked me for the microphone, too.
He did.
And I was like, yeah,
People,
man.
Earth, I need to say something. Listen to me. I hope every one of you behind the screens or in this arena can feel this level of happiness just one time in your life. I hope all of you can feel how fucking happy I am just one time in your life. But guess what? You will never feel this level of happiness if you don't go for something in your own life. When they knock you down, when they try and shit on you, when they talk shit about you, and they try and put their foot on your neck. If you stay down, you will never ever get that resolve. Fortify your mind and feel this level of happiness as you rise. One time in your life, but I'm blessed to be able to feel this shit again and again and again and again and again.
Woo! I mean, fuck, man.
Damn.
While you rise. I mean, it sounds like something from a movie, like a speech before war.
It sounds like 15 writers sat in a room and came up with the perfect lines.
Yeah.
And then,
If that was in the movie Gladiator, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's how good that is.
and I bet that just came out of the moment. I didn't even ask him. I should ask him next time I talk to him. I bet that just came right out of the moment. It was just right there. It was a perfect event for him. It was perfect. The way it went down was perfect. You could never script that better in a movie.
No.
To see him flattened out cold, and then put arrows in his unconscious body.
Knocked out an Easter egg island, man. Guy fucking Poeton's
Easter egg
huge.
island. Easter egg.
Poeton's
Easter
with a
island.
bo-
It's not Easter
Oh, it's not an Easter egg island? Yo, look, shut up. I thought it was an Easter egg island.
Bro, Alex Pereira is the scariest kickboxer that's ever competed in the sport. He's the one guy above all that I would say if he hits you once, you're dead. He just has to hit you once. Out of all the guys I've ever seen fight, I don't think anybody I could say that more than that guy, including in kickboxing, in everything. He has more power than anybody I've ever seen. In fact,
Even boxing? Even
I don't think I've seen anybody that hits harder than that guy. Anybody. Ever. Except Francis Ngannou. But Francis Ngannou's 265.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
he's a
saying?
mammoth.
But in weight class, like weight class to weight class, Francis can put anybody out too. But he's not at the same skill level as Poeton. So when Poeton does it, it's like when he switch kicked Yuri Prohaska and KO'd him at the beginning of the second round.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, what the fuck, man?
and he KO'd him already at the end of the first round.
Yeah, he's terrifying. That dude's terrifying. Just absolutely terrifying. That power is just this is like from God. It's like he's got a gift. He's got a weird gift. It's just different than every. There's this machine where you punch it and it registers the amount of power. With
Yeah.
Francis, it was like 130 something, something like that, right? Francis was like 130 something. Poeton got 191. 191 with his right hand, and I don't even think his right hand's his power punch. I think it's his left hook that's the big one. I bet the big one, the left hook, is over 191. It's bananas. His power, it's not like anybody else. So when Izzy knocked that guy out, that you gotta understand, that's different. That's different. Like, that's the top of the mountain. That's the
Yeah.
top of the mountain in the sport. It's like one of the greatest accomplishments in the sport.
Yeah.
It really is.
Would you say Poatan is the fastest rise you've ever seen in the UFC?
Ever. To 2 division world champion?
Yeah.
No one's even close. Because that guy never says no. They call him up. You want to fight next weekend? Yes. All he has to do is make the weight. He just fights. He fought with a broken toe. He fought with a broken hand the last time. His hand was broken, and he had a norovirus. And he still fought.
Yeah, he's terrifying.
He's crazy.
I remember when he came to the mothership and they were like, the security were like, it was terrifying because he was like, I want to meet Joe now. and the security were like, I don't know what to do.
Yo, me and DC were in the hallway upstairs in the mothership, and he's teaching us how he checks the calf kick. How he throws the calf kick different than everybody else, and he's having Polino, his coach, is translating. So it was me and DC, and we're both standing there, and you know that little area where the elevator is, where the VIP is? We're standing there in this little crowded area, there's like 5 of us, and Poatan's kicking my legs, and he's kicking DC's legs, and he's explaining how he lifts his leg up this way, and this is how he checks it, and you're like, oh, shit. And both DC and I, do we tell people about this? Like, I don't even know if I want to give this up.
Yeah,
'cause,
give
like,
us information.
Because this is like very good information. Like he never gets hurt with calf kicks, and if he like the way he checks them, he does like a hacky sack thing. A lot of people are doing it now, and he was like one of the first guys to figure that out. That he does like this hacky sack move. So when you go to kick his legs, instead of just checking it, where he turns it into the kick, he lifts his leg up, and his leg just kind of goes like this, and the kick just goes. It just kind of grazes it. So it never pounds on his calf the way he pounds on theirs.
When it's just straight, boom, you're getting that force while you're playing it.
But he also has a different style. Like, he's not heavy on the front leg. Because like some guys are heavy on the front leg because they want to take him down quick. So they want to be able to like move and take him down. And those are the guys that are going to have a harder time getting away from that kick. Because you got so much weight on that leg. So it's just thud, thud, thud. And then now your calf is numb. Your foot is limp. Your foot's just dangling around your ankle.
Oh, that guy's terrifying, dude.
And again, like, how does a guy like that go and become a regular person? How do you integrate and just be a regular guy after that?
Yeah.
It's got to be very weird. Like, Schaub's figured it out.
Yeah.
But Schaub got lucky that he found podcasting, and he, found his car show, All Gas No Brakes. So like he found a way to transition and still have a good time.
Yeah, it's very few guys. Because you see, I remember just the era of watching Tyson go from fighting to finding a rhythm.
Yeah.
And being in movies.
So there's like fighters, like Schaub, elite fighter, top 10 heavyweight in the UFC. But then there's champions, world champions, guys who sell out arenas, pay-per-view stars, like Conor. How's that guy go and be a regular person? How do you do that?
You can't.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, there's no coaches for that, where they teach you how to reintegrate and become normal.
Yeah. R.I.P. George Foreman, man. He feels like the only one who was like, he found the grill and was like, dude, I'm fucking
Which made a
chilling.
lot of money with that grill. But he also came back when he was 36.
Yeah, won it again, didn't he?
Yeah. He went all the way through till he was 45, and he knocked out Michael Moore, which is crazy. Like, nobody did that back then. When he came back at 36, I remember news articles about it, and I remember feeling sad because I knew George Foreman when I was a child. Like, George, you check in with me. I'll tell you what to do.
Look, I'll show you my chest.
Don't do it.
I'll show you a picture.
I don't care.
Yeah. So you're saying from here on.
Yeah.
You're not saying,
What are you gonna impress me with your chest? That's crazy.
no. Well, you say I got small arms. I got to say, well, I got
you're
a nice
telling me they're
chest.
big.
I
and
never
I'm telling
once
you
said my
they're
arms.
good. Your triceps and your biceps are good. That's crazy.
Oh, listen, let me explain something to you, okay? Fucking waffle neck.
Waffle neck. Is that bad?
No, I call my kids that.
What does waffle
I
neck
don't know.
mean?
It's just, I call them chicken head. Okay, you're right. They're not big, but they're hard, and they're not flabby under
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah, you're not
Okay,
falling apart.
I'm not some flabby.
Yeah, congratulations.
What the fuck? What?
You want credit for being okay?
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
No,
Whatever happened to Mr. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, get your shit together? What about all that talk?
That's, hey,
You're barely doing anything. You're okay.
I work out 6 days a week. I lift.
Do you?
Yes, I have a nice gym in my basement.
Do you think if I worked out with you, I'd be impressed with the effort that you put forward?
Not in the least. Not in the least. I could do.
Stop it.
I do 500 crunches.
That's amazing. I do 0. I don't do any crunches.
What do you do? Sit-ups?
Yeah, I do a lot of different stuff. For
Yeah.
abs.
Do you do planks?
No, I think planks are nonsense.
So do I. They're uncomfortable.
It's hard to do, don't get me wrong, but I think in terms of an exercise for your core, it's kind of nonsense. I think you should do things, first of all, you should almost always do things that have a range of motion. Like when I like to do things that make my body work as a unit. So all the ab exercises that I do a lot of different things for abs. I do reverse squats, you know what those are? You put your ankles, strap your ankles to a cable machine, you lay on your back, and you pull towards you.
Oh, I know.
I do those.
Well, I got one of those machines where I put my knees in it and I pull up to get the bottom.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Those
You
are
know
good.
what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah. Those are good. Anything where you work your whole core. And then
Yeah.
you got to also do the opposite side, back extensions. You
Yeah, I
showed
do
back
that.
extension
I do it on
thing.
that thing I
machine
showed
were
you.
showing me. Yeah.
I'll do back. Because, and I got to lose another 10 pounds again. I gained it back, but it comes and goes. And because I have lower disc problems and, you know, I'm getting sciatica. So whenever I lose weight, I'm in much better shape.
Yeah, I could tell
'Cause-
by when you got on that stretching machine, the decks, that
Yeah.
your body doesn't go all the way down. It's
Oh.
tight. Your lower
Well,
back is very tight.
Oh, I'll go in there right now and go all the way down. I was just doing it just to,
No, I'm saying there's
Yes.
tension.
Yeah,
You
of
see how
course.
my body hinges?
Yeah.
My body just hinges. It just goes down there. There's no
Yeah.
tension. Yours is like, you stop like right there. You probably could go all the way down, but your body doesn't want to. The point is there's tension in your lower back.
well, I've never used that machine too. It was my first time.
Excuses. Do you stretch? No.
On stage, if they need me to do an extra 20, I didn't go stretch. I've done it 2 hours. If D.L. Hughley and I'm middling and he's coming 4 hours late, back in the day I was working at Caroline's and I was opening for D.L. And, you know, I'm doing all my good stuff up front.
Oh, no.
It's
And then they- you have to stretch.
And they go stretch. I'm going, what am I going to do now?
He wasn't there yet?
No, he wasn't.
That's the worst feeling in the world. when
Walking in with
you
his
get all your best material and they're telling you to stretch like, I don't know, and you're scouring your brain.
You're scouring your brain.
Well, luckily for you, you can work the crowd.
Yeah. So now what was the question? Do I stretch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do for my back. I have this I lie down
Yeah.
and I pull
Okay.
this back like that.
Okay.
That's good for my lower back. You
Sure.
know what that is?
Do I know what it is?
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I know what you're doing.
My
Yeah.
lower back,
Yeah.
when I do that.
Just crossing your legs and leaning forward. Yeah.
And I pull it back.
Right.
And
Okay.
then when I'm doing sit-up, crunches, I'll do it either on that machine or I'll pull my legs this way too. So I'm getting my lower. All right.
Watching you move, I'm like, oh my
What's
god.
that? First of all, I know the crew you have come in here, a lot of them, none of them work out at all. All right.
A lot of them do. Who doesn't work out at all? Name one.
No, I don't want
Name a guy.
Ari.
Shane?
Ari.
Ari doesn't work out at all.
Okay, just one.
That's true.
Mark
Ari doesn't.
Norman.
I don't know if Norman works out.
Look at
Does
him.
Mark Norman definitely works out.
Oh, he does?
He runs.
He can do
Yeah.
a lot of pull-ups and sit-ups.
From audiences. He You know what I like talking to Mark? He loves comedy.
Oh, he loves
And he knows the history
Comedy?
of it. But he knows the history of it. Like like you'll talk to comics now and go, "Oh, Steve Landisberg was funny." Or just who was that? Or,
Look at him. Come on, man. Of course he
oh
works out.
shit, he's ripped.
He's ripped.
I don't like
How
that.
dare you?
That
Now you feel
fucking-
bad.
Now I feel
hurt.
bad.
You feel bad,
It
right?
hurts me to see that.
Yeah.
Are you
You're talking
kidding
shit,
me?
and he looks great.
Oh fuck!
You're talking shit. He looks like a male model.
But
Show me
guess
that
what?
again, Jamie.
He's not holding up a newspaper. We don't know when that was shot.
Who cares when it was shot? You never looked like that.
Yes,
Show me
I.
that
Oh
again.
yeah.
What are you gonna do? Take your clothes off?
No, I'm gonna
Look
take
at
a
this.
picture.
Look at. He looks fucking good there.
Yeah, he does.
He looks good.
So does his wife. God damn it. Yeah.
Look at that right there. He's got boxing gloves on and an iPhone. He's in shape, man. You're incorrect.
All right, relax.
Feel bad, right?
No, I don't.
Shane works out. He's here all the time.
This is not working out.
We work out.
Shane works out?
Yeah, he comes in, uses the gym.
Where did I put
We work out together. We put your glasses so you can find your abs.
Let me fly.
Here in the summer. All right, listen to me, fucking.
You are looking for your glasses. Are you going to find a photo of you looking good?
Forget about that. That's the past. Let's concentrate on now. Let's concentrate on put away the cookies, put away the sugar, listen to your doctor. He tells you to rehab your shoulder, get yourself in shape. Can't believe we're doing this. You know, people are listening. They can't see this.
They couldn't see the picture of him either.
Yeah, but I mean, this you being on your phone here, looking for a photo back in the day when you looked reasonable.
This was recently.
How long ago? What happened?
What happened? Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus.
Look at you. They look good there.
There you go.
Oh, not bad.
Okay.
You look pretty good right there. What happened?
It's not that bad now.
How long ago was this? 2018. Oh, that's pretty recent. That's pretty recent.
Yeah.
Pre-pandemic. A lot of people
Yeah.
fell apart doing it.
That's what happened. And then I came back on track for a year.
A whole year.
And
it
then
fell
since
apart again.
January, when I
7
was in
cookies.
Canada,
Oh, Canada did you?
Canada
You got
fucked me
it.
up.
Communism. You got it with communism.
It was.
They
Yeah,
made you eat poutines.
it was so. Oh, that shit
Everybody
is
eats
good.
poutine. Oh, it's so good.
It's so,
Late night poutine.
it's just pure heart attack.
Yeah,
in
they
a
have
plate.
different delis in Canada. Like we used to go
Yeah.
to Montreal. Those they call it smoked meat.
Yeah.
It's basically like going to Cantor's, right?
Yeah.
Or going to Katz.
I've
in
been
New
to a
York.
couple of those smoked meat.
Oh, phenomenal.
But you know, I heard, and I don't know if it's true, if you eat too much smoked meat, you can get stomach cancer from all that smoked meat.
Who fucking told you that?
This guy with stomach cancer. No, not
No.
true.
Smoked meat is not what it is. There is some connection between burnt meat, like the carbon in burnt
Yeah.
meat and cancer. I think it's colorectal cancer, but I do not know how robust those studies are. I mean, people have been cooking over fire forever. I don't buy it. There's a lot of bullshit involved in these studies that tell you that this causes cancer, that causes cancer. Here's what 100% causes cancer. Herbicides, pesticides, chemicals, forever chemicals that are in your fucking food. That paper cup that you're drinking out of when you drink hot liquids out of a paper cup. We gotta throw those fucking paper cups we have. Have you seen what Paul Saladino did where he dissolved the Starbucks cup and shows you what's really at the base of it? It's basically a condom. See if you can find Paul Saladino's
Wait,
video.
you got all those paper cups? I'll take them.
I
all.
know. I saw them today. I poured my coffee in this. We're gonna get rid of all our paper cups.
I'll take them.
Paper cups for hot liquids are fucking stupid.
Really?
Because the lining of those paper cups is plastic. So you're basically pouring hot liquid into plastic, which is the worst.
Okay.
Like look at see he shows.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he's dissolving the paper cup, and that's what's inside of it. So you think you're drinking out of a paper cup, but it's not really paper. It's plastic. There's a plastic lining, and that's the only reason why those coffee cups from Starbucks hold paper. So hot water to plastic. Give me some volume on this.
Anything in that plastic is nutrient
Yeah, my wife.
to your drink. Do not think you're getting a paper cup, you are getting a plastic cup, and you are putting hot water into it. That's a horrible, horrible idea. Do that. What's the solution? Glass jar, coffee glass jar, first thing you want. Simple solution. Don't expose hot liquids to plastic like this. Horrible idea for your hormones, horrible for your body. Send this to somebody you know who drinks hot coffee out of paper cups like this and needs to get them out of glass. Do you think this is
Yeah, there you go.
My wife, she won't drink out. She knows all this shit.
Good.
She's a
You
reader.
should listen to Bonnie. Just
I
listen
try to.
Bonnie.
She meditates. She's really good. You know,
She's
eats-
smart, which is weird.
Super
the two
smart.
of you guys together, that it works.
It's
crazy.
It's like you know what here's the deal. What month? What are we at?
April.
April.
15, 14? 14?
April 14th. So let's go April 14th, May, June 30th. I'm back here at the club on my birthday.
Okay. So you're gonna look good.
I'll look.
All right. I'm gonna go to June 3rd. We'll take a picture. I'll put it on my Instagram. Take your shirt off, flex.
Not now.
No, June
yeah.
30th.
Okay.
I'm giving you time.
Yeah.
I want to give you a goal.
June 30th. Is that enough
Yeah.
time? You think?
Sure. Absolutely.
2 months?
Yes. In 2 months, you can lose 20 pounds of fat and look great. Yeah.
right.
Just eat healthy. Just
Yeah.
get on a very low carbohydrate diet.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
I'm not doing keto. I'm not gay, but I went
Keto's gay?
When I try to cut carbs, let me tell you something. It was easier for me to quit crack than it was carbs.
Really?
Well, I never gave anybody a hand job for a Kaiser roll either. So, part of my act, folks, he's killing. June 30th, the week I'm here.
Right.
I don't know how much bigger my arms will be.
You don't have to
I'll
get
just
bigger.
be, just be
Look
cut
good.
more cut
Get
up.
you look good.
But I think I look okay.
Well, we're gonna get you a blood panel tomorrow too to find out where your hormone levels are at. Find out what the fuck is wrong with you.
What do you mean?
All that shit.
Blood panel with
They'll
my-
draw blood. They'll draw blood and then send it to a lab.
They're not
And
going to tell me I have cancer.
They could if you want to know.
No.
You don't want to know.
I already had blood tests at my doctor's office. They sent
Did
my
your doctor do a comprehensive cancer scan?
Did prostate?
No. Yeah. Just looked in your asshole. That's all they did.
No, with the blood. And looked at my sugar levels.
They can do this incredibly comprehensive blood panel. They dig a lot of blood out, and then they send it to a lab, and they find out whether or not you have. I have 0 cancer. I'm super happy because when they did it, I was like, "Ooh, I have the same feeling. I don't know if I want to do it."
It's a scam. Waiting for fucking.
Start thinking about it. Start mind fucking yourself, laying in bed at night. What if I have it right now? What if I find out tomorrow I have 4 weeks to live?
It's fucking too much anxiety. When I went back in the day, everybody went for the AIDS test after you got clean.
I remember my first AIDS test.
So I got my
I was
AIDS.
so scared.
Okay, so this is true. My doctor, whenever I went to my doctor and took any test, he would call me and say, everything's fine. They would call and say, everything's fine. It was
Right.
good. So I took an AIDS test.
The doctor didn't call
And
you.
I get a call from the doctor. And he said, can you come in tomorrow? I'm going, what do you mean come in tomorrow? My heart dropped because he would have said everything's fine. I go, what do you mean? Why do you want me to come in tomorrow? He goes, your tooth came in and we want to put your tooth, it was my dentist, but I heard doctor. I thought it was my real doctor telling me I had fucking AIDS. You know, because everybody took that test in the 80s.
When I first
Yeah.
got insurance, I had to get an AIDS test in
Yeah.
the 90s. And I remember the doctor, I said, boy, I'm fucking real nervous about this. And the doctor said, are you gay? I said, no. He goes, do you do drugs? I go, no. He goes, don't worry about it. You don't have it. I go, really? He goes, yeah. I go, what about the fucking news?
Yeah.
The news is freaking me out where I'm scared to touch fucking doorknobs. Like, how come the news is saying that everybody's going to get AIDS? He says, listen, no one's getting it other than gay people and people who are intravenous drug use.
Well, people on my block were dropping. We went to see Pee Wee in the hospital, and all the nurses were wearing masks. So we go, I think he has that thing. Nobody even knew what the fuck, you know.
Yeah, they thought it was contagious. By the way, that was
Yeah.
Fauci, too.
Back
Fauci.
then?
Yeah. He's responsible for all that. Fauci was responsible for people freaking out about AIDS. Fauci was on TV back in the 80s telling people that children could possibly catch it from people. Yes. Yeah. Do you know the Dallas Buyers Club? Where they were limiting
Yeah.
the medication that gay people could take? That was about Fauci. He was responsible for that. He was the one who pushed AZT on people back then.
What's
AZT was that chemotherapy medication that was killing people quicker than the cancer was. So they stopped using it on cancer, and they repurposed it and started using it on people that had
And
AIDS.
it
And
didn't
it
help the AIDS.
kills you dead. They were giving it to people that didn't even have any fucking symptoms. They had HIV, they had no symptoms. They'd given them AZT, they were dying in months. It was the only time ever in medical history where they were telling you to take a chemotherapy drug indefinitely. Every time you take chemotherapy, the idea is that it gets your body close to death but kills off the cancer. They were telling you to keep taking it. Just keep taking it. It's nuts. What they did is madness. If you read Robert Kennedy's book, The Real Anthony Fauci, it's all about that. And the beginning of it is all about the AIDS crisis and all the different things that they did that mirrors exactly what they did during the COVID crisis.
So what drugs are they using now to,
They started using protease inhibitors, and that really helped. Like the whole AIDS thing is very complex. It's very complex because the vast majority of the people that got AIDS were heavy drug users. Heavy drug users or gay guys who were experiencing, a lot of different sexual partners.
but
And
it
they
was
were-
because of blood being transferred.
yeah, that's
during
part of
AIDS.
it, but it's also part of it. You're destroying your immune system with fucking drugs. Like
Yeah.
these guys were taking amyl nitrate, and crystal meth, and
partying and not sleeping, just crushing their immune system.
Plus sharing needles with the blood going from.
Yep, that too. And then they would get them on medication that would definitely kill them. And then it was a crisis. And then, everybody was running around scared. And I was scared too until I talked to my doctor. He just looked me in the eyes. But no one could say that back then. So this is like 91 maybe? Maybe 91, 92? And my doctor was like, don't worry about it. I was like, what about the news, man? Like, I remember talking to this guy who was a young guy. I was like, why is the news telling me I could get, he goes, heterosexuals aren't getting this.
Well,
Unless you're an intravenous drug user, don't worry about it.
I only checked because I shot dope like maybe 3 times.
What was it like?
I didn't like it. It's just not. I was more of a,
What did shooting dope feel like? What did it feel like?
just down and I can't. It wasn't. I did it with Bastille. And he was a major drug addict.
He was a major one. He was funny though. Frankie was funny.
Did I
I
ever-
remember seeing him for the first time when I was an open micer in '88.
Yeah.
And he was just a wild dude. He was like one of the first guys I ever saw with tattoos. All these tattoos now. He does heroin. They would
Yeah.
tell you, oh, really? It's heroin. When someone did heroin back there, it was crazy. You're like, what? What's heroin? Now, think about how many people are hooked on opiates.
Well-
back then, it was super rare.
Well, the difference between heroin and like freebase, you can function on heroin. There's functioning heroin
Yep.
addicts for years.
Yeah.
Do it. You can't function on freebase or coke. You got to keep having it.
I had a buddy of mine who was a longshoreman, and he would tell me that this guy he would work with, and not just one guy, but one guy that he was working with that was a friend, on his lunch break, get a bag of heroin, shoot it up in his car, sit there for half an hour, and then go back to work.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You can't do that with freebase. It's nonstop. You got to keep it.
imagine.
So,
Was that your thing, freebasing?
yeah, freebase, free crack.
How old were you when you first freebased?
Well, when I first got high, I was 15. Pot. I led my way up to the coke. Yeah, coke, and then
So snorting coke.
I snorted coke probably when I started when I was 18 or 19, right?
And then when you worked
Party.
crack.
Crack probably 25 to 28.
Do you remember the first time you did it?
I think it was with my cousin. Yeah, it was like, this is good. This is. I mean, I guess there was one. Yeah, I'll tell you what. So I got so many of them. So, my friend, I was on the road. I came back. He goes, "Look, I'm going to buy an eighth of coke. Cut it into 5 halves, 5 half grams. That's
Okay.
right. And we'll do 2.
Media posts and also DMs. DMs. So people get arrested for horrible DMs that nobody gets to see other than the friend that you're sending it to, supposedly.
You have no idea what the context is. That's
Checking
crazy.
into this one time recently, it said that a lot of people may have been arrested, but many of them were not prosecuted and released.
But it's still, right, okay, that's cute. It's still horrifying because what you're doing is scaring people into compliance. They don't want to be arrested again, and they certainly don't want to risk being prosecuted. But they're forcing people to censor themselves.
The
When I
jump.
read it, it said that they were breaking the law. I don't know which law
Right.
they're breaking.
Well,
but
no,
it said
they
they're
do have a law. They don't have freedom of speech the way we have in America. So they do have these hate speech laws. So they are breaking a law. But the question is, should that law exist? And I say no. No, that law should not exist. You shouldn't be able to put someone in a cage for saying, and some of them are not that offensive. Some of them are pretty fucking calm. Only a 1,119 sentences occurred for these offenses. Okay, but the problem is now go look at how many people were arrested in Russia for social media posts. And it's drastically less. But we think of Russia as being the country that censors people.
Yeah.
And, right,
China and Russia,
which
that's
they
what you
do.
think.
Which they do. You can't criticize Putin. You can't go balls out. You're risking your life. You're in real trouble. Not excusing that. But what they're doing in the UK is at a higher level of magnitude. I mean, maybe they're not torturing people and sending them to the front line of Ukraine, but they are putting the fear of being arrested in people if you say something that they don't want you to say on social media.
The jump from 2016 to 2023 is crazy.
Look at Russia. 2023, 54 people. So in the time where 12,000 people were arrested in the UK, 54 people were imprisoned for online hate speech
This also
in Russia.
information
Russia's 100% accurate with their. Shut up, Jamie. From 2010 to 2024, Novaya Gazeta Europe reported over 30,000 criminal and administrative cases related to social media posts, with about 1,200 being criminal cases. So they had 1,200 criminal cases. Common charges include extremism, inciting hatred, or insulting state symbols. That's where it gets sketchy.
I can't even make fun of the flag or a monument. I can't make fun of it.
Nope. Insulting. Making fun is insulting. There's no room for humor in a communist country.
Okay, sucks.
But it's not, Russia's not communist really anymore. It's really, it's a military dictatorship essentially. I mean, Putin was the president, and he could only do a certain amount of time, and then he stopped being the president. And fuck it, I'm the president again. And then no one's gonna win going against him. They have elections, but what are you doing? But guys wind up getting poisoned and shot. It's old school.
Yeah, he's fucking.
It's old school. He's running that place.
It's his.
That's his. You're not taking over.
Man, I seen that picture of him, shirtless on a horse. I was like, don't fuck with this dude.
Yeah, he's a killer. He's a former KGB killer. He's like the real deal. He's a judo black belt. He's a bad man.
Yeah.
And he runs that country. And they arrest less people.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on in the UK?
They're leaning into the same direction that I was talking about that was scaring me about America. I feel like there's a plot. There's a plot to diminish the fabric of society. Like if you want, okay, let's just look at the whole overall world and is it fair? It's definitely not fair. There's a reason why these people in these third world countries want to come to Europe and why they want to come to America, because it's better here and it's better there and they want a better life. I get it. But why are they fleeing where they came from? Well, brothers, we bombed the shit out of those places. We bombed the shit out of those places. We drone bombed them. We overthrew democratically elected governments with coups. There's a lot of instability that's caused by us. We're like, well, it's our fault. We gotta take these people in. I think instead of fucking up this one country by letting everybody come in and drag it down to a third world country, I think a better solution is figure out a way to prop up these other countries. The same way, in a simplistic version of it, like you want everything for yourself, but you want everything for all your boys too, and everybody gets better.
Yeah.
The whole world gets better. So instead of like shipping off jobs to Mexico where they get $1 a day, maybe pay them real money. Pay them what you're supposed to be paying them. Maybe give them health care. Maybe if you are an American citizen and you want to hire someone to do something, you have to hire someone under the same structure of ethics that we agree to in the United States. Period.
Yes.
Period. For all humans all over the world. And if the money translates lower because the American dollar is worth more, okay, but balance it out. Make it that, they can afford food, they can afford housing, they can afford health care. Make laws.
Agreed.
And then all of a sudden you prop up the whole world. And the whole world stop having third world countries, including in the United States. Like, why do we still have ghettos? Why have we put all this money into funding all these different things with like U.S. aid all over the world? And the south side of Chicago has the same amount of murders every year, if not more.
More. Every year.
Every year. Baltimore, same place. We had a cop in once, way back in the day, that he was a cop in Baltimore, and while they were working one day, he found a rap sheet, like a arrest sheet of all these different crimes that were committed in all these different areas from like the 1970s. And it was all the same shit that's happening today, and you realize like, oh my God, it's never gonna end. Like, you're never gonna fix this. It's all the same problems in the same areas, and nothing's being done. The same drug arrests, the same violence, the same this, the same that, all in the same places. And all in these areas, mysteriously, all in these same areas that had been redlined during the Jim Crow era, where black people couldn't buy houses where the white neighborhoods are. They had to buy houses in one area, and those areas are fucked. And no one's corrected. No
Even
one's
now.
helped.
Doesn't make sense. But do you think that's just that hard to let go of that feeling of I have to be better than somebody? Yeah, it's nice to know you're doing better than somebody else. It's something about human beings that they like.
I think it's convenient to ignore people that you're not going to profit from. If you are investing a bunch of money in green energy, or you're investing a bunch of money in whatever stupid shit you're doing with windmills. Like, someone's making money. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people making money. There's money being exchanged. If you're fixing South Side of Chicago, if you're like creating community centers and you're like robust education and counseling and providing mentorship and paths to jobs and giving people like an opportunity to make real money that's enticing so they don't want to sell drugs or kill people, like, how are you making money doing that? You're not. And so people don't do it. It's that simple.
But it's like what you just said. Everyone would naturally, if
Exactly.
everyone's doing it, the world would naturally rise.
Exactly.
But
The
it would
whole-
take time. I guess you're right. It's
would
not a
take
direct
generations.
profit.
It would take generations.
Yeah.
But there's no effort being done to it. So this guy that's seeing these crimes that were committed in the same area in Baltimore in the 1970s, you know, and this is in the 2000s. You're seeing the same shit. It's like, this is crazy. Like, this is the real systemic racism. This is the real like problem in this. It's not like black people can't make it in America. No. It's like there's an echo of past atrocities that exists in these pockets that's not being addressed. It's never been healed.
Yeah.
It's never been healed. And there's a convenience in allowing it to stay that way. Like, you can count on them to vote a certain way if you keep giving them welfare, if you keep giving them food stamps. The people that want that are always the Democrats. So those people are always going to vote Democrat for you. So it's within your best interest to not make them like conservative Republicans or like very disciplined and work real hard and get to the gym at 4:30 before they show up at work at 7 and we're here to kick some ass and make some fucking money, Wilson. You know? You don't want that. It's convenient because then they'll vote for you every time. As soon as they start making money and realize, like, what is the government spending my fucking taxes on?
That's what changes you immediately.
Changes
the
you.
moment you make some money.
Oh, you become a Republican.
Oh, dude. Yeah, this year.
Hippies that I know became Republicans after they started making money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because 50% of your money, and you're living in a shitty. You're like, wait, hold on. What?
And they're letting criminals out. You're like, what is happening? Why does my car keep getting broken into? Like, what do you do? Why are there people camped in front of my fucking house?
I gave you 50% of my money.
Yeah, this is crazy. Dylan has a great bit about it, about the California offering tax breaks for people that take a homeless person into their house.
Yeah, he's the man, dude.
It's one of the clips that he put up because he's got a new special that's out now.
Yeah.
That he filmed at the mothership. But it's so funny and so true. It's like they're just trying to destroy society. What better way to destroy your house? You have a wife and child. What better way to destroy your house than to bring some fentanyl addict in? This is how you're going to create more chaos. And then California is trying to pass a new law that's being proposed where if someone breaks into your house and threatens your life, you're not allowed to shoot them. In your house. Imagine someone breaks into your house and is trying to get you, has a knife coming towards you. You're not allowed to kill him.
What am I allowed to do?
You're supposed to run away. This hasn't passed yet, but
There's no way it can. That doesn't.
It's so crazy, dude. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. It's almost like they're trying to destroy people's confidence in law enforcement, confidence in community, the feeling of being safe, ramp up everybody's level of anxiety, and then offer a solution. And the solution is to disarm everybody. The solution is to clamp down further and further on gun laws, make it very difficult to have a gun. You can't have magazines more than 10 rounds. You can't conceal carry. You can't do this. You can't do that. If you have it in your car, you have to have the bullets in the trunk and the pistol's supposed to be locked up. Yeah, there's all these crazy laws that are just slowly but surely trying to take away your. And you can say, no, those laws will keep people from road rage and shootings, and criminals commit crime. Laws don't stop criminals from breaking laws. Laws keep law-abiding people from protecting themselves. That's the fact. That's the fact. Criminals gonna do it anyway. The gun's illegal. The fucking the identification number have been sawed off. What are you talking about?
They've also, like you said, they've been driven to that point. If I'm at that point, there is no rule that's going to stop me.
There's no rule. Have you ever seen that show, Trafficked? This is an amazing show called Trafficked, and they went down to L.A. and they followed these rogue cops who are bringing guns into Mexico and selling them. Yeah, that's one of the episodes. Yeah, Mariana Vanzeller. She's amazing. She's been in the podcast a few times. She's brilliant.
And
It's fearless, this lady. She went to Colombia, into the jungle, where they were making coke, and then went with the mules, hiked it out with backpacks full of coke. They had backpacks, and she followed them and hiked it out. They showed her how they make the coke, where they make the coke. Yeah.
They changed the wording on this bill.
Oh, interesting. The bill with this is where it's scratched out. Scratched out part says the bill would eliminate certain circumstances under which homicide is justifiable, including amongst others, in defense of a habitation or property. The bill would additionally clarify circumstances in which homicide is not justifiable, including among others, when a person uses more force than necessary to defend against a danger.
What does that mean?
That means you shoot a guy more than once.
I got to know he's down.
Right, but you killed him instead of just shooting him. That's what they're saying. But you don't what this bill is like not understanding fight or flight and violence and the chaos of you realizing your life
Or
is
your
in
family's
great
life.
danger.
What?
You just want to shoot that person. Okay, the bill would eliminate that provision. The bill would also specify certain circumstances in which homicide is not justifiable, including when a person was outside their habitation or property and did not retreat when they could have safely done so, when a person used more force than a reasonable person would do. So that right there, listen to that. A person was outside their habitation or property and did not retreat when they could have safely done so. Meaning if someone's breaking into your house, you're on the outside of the house, you don't go into the house to confront them. You retreat. You're supposed to retreat.
What if I have family in the house?
That's a good question.
That's
a good question.
This rule already is like, well, this doesn't make sense.
It says it specifies the circumstances, so that might be.
But Jamie, you would do in the context of the sentence. This bill would also specify certain circumstances in which homicide is not justifiable, including when a person was outside their habitation or property. But it's not.
If you're outside, it's saying you have to try to retreat.
Right. But what if someone's in your home? That doesn't clarify that.
There's circumstances when it still could be. It's just that there's certain circumstances when it's not justifiable. It still could be.
Right, but the certain circumstances is listed, including when a person was outside.
He brought up a situation.
Jamie, it's
that's
obvious.
Not
It's obvious.
Just saying.
I know, but
I
you're
agree. I'm reading it.
this is not necessary. And did not retreat when they could have safely done so. When a person used more force than a reasonable person, that's so subjective.
You don't know. I don't know. That's not a
What does
real
that mean?
thing.
What
Yeah.
about Tim Kennedy? Is he reasonable?
That's not a reason.
What about,
Gonna fuck.
what about Jocko? Is Jocko reasonable? Yeah. But
Arguably, that's why
but
you want
people
a good
have to. But people have to keep their cool. What'd you say, Jenny?
Well, you want a good jury too.
Good luck.
I'm just saying.
Good. Why would you count on that?
I'm not saying you're counting on it. I'm just saying that's why you want one. I didn't say that's why you need one. I said that's why you want one. Don't you?
If I was a judge, I'd say you're argumentative. However, the bill would specify that homicide is justifiable if the initial aggressor actually and in good faith tried to stop fighting and indicated they wanted to and tried to stop fighting as specified, or in cases of mutual combat, the initial aggressor gave the opponent an opportunity to stop fighting. So if someone starts fucking you up and then gives you an opportunity to stop fighting, and you don't, you keep fighting them and kill them. But they've already started fighting with you. They've already, you're in danger zone. Like, to be reasonable while your life is in danger is to open yourself up to getting fucked up. Because it's like, no, come on, man. It was like, bang, motherfucker, and then you're out cold. Like, you've already engaged in violence. It's so subjective whether or not you should stop or not stop. Like, when you should stop is when that person's 100% incapacitated, and that might mean kill them if you don't know what's going to stop them. If you have a gun and someone is charging at you with a fucking machete, and you bang, bang, bang while they're still alive, and that winds up killing them, you could have just shot them once. You could be in front of a jury, and they could say, you could have stopped with the first bullet. And then you have a coroner who says, yes, the first bullet was fatal. Or, yes, the first bullet would have stopped him, but he shot him 2 additional times. Like, now you're in jail. Now you're in jail because you were terrified of your life, and you thought you were going to die, and you did something in a split moment where you're not even thinking straight. Like, you're to ask an accountant to keep his shit together. Look, if you're asking Navy SEAL to keep his shit together, and they're probably like, oh, finally someone broke into my house.
Oh, this motherfucker's
Yeah.
going. Yeah. But
Some guy actually did try to break into Tim Kennedy's house, and he didn't even hurt the guy. He just said, "You made a giant mistake." He came up with a gun, and got rid of the guy.
That's like those guys who start bar fights with UFC, like with UFC do. You ever see those kind of videos where you're like, oh,
You
brother.
see the Joe Schilling one, right?
He bumps it. He kind of like some like dude's dancing and just being a dick.
Yeah.
And then he gets him at the bar and just bum, bum, bum. It's
Well,
so
the
quick.
dude tried to get him to flinch. He like
That he jumped at him.
jumped at him, and he just ding, ding, ding. The wrong dude. You mean that's karma?
Yeah.
That's almost like that. Those things like almost make me feel like we're in a simulation. Like that's supposed to happen in that order. You know, like when someone just hits a level of douchiness and this, you're supposed to run into Joe Schilling.
Yeah.
That's the perfect karmic response to like a negative and a positive and a thing. You know, like go in and out. I just feel like we have to be really careful in this country that we don't get more divided by all this fucking political chaos that we're experiencing. We got to be real careful, like as human beings, that we don't fall prey to that. This is not. It's not smart for anybody.
No, dude.
It's not smart. We're just it's so much unnecessary conflict. You know.
Well, it's usually, and it's just people picking that one side. And like you said, like you can't. Of course, I don't think people should be coming into the country and all that stuff, but I also do think women should be able to do what they want with the fucking baby in their stomach. You know what I mean? Like,
Up to a point, right?
Up to a point. Up to a point, of course. But like you said, if some woman got raped and she's pregnant now, like, yeah, let her. What are we doing right now?
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Where's the human aspect of it?
And then also, like, if you don't feel for people that walked here with their babies because they just want to get a job as a landscaper, like,
Let them have it.
But how do you know? You know, like, I think the process for getting people in should be better. But it's like, how many can we support? Like, what kind of a strain is this on Social Security? What kind of a strain is this on Medicare? You know, have this been, and is there a way to, like, make where they're from better? And wouldn't that, like, increase revenues? Like, if all of a sudden you had another country right next door that's buying and trading and making tons of money, wouldn't that be better for everybody?
Yeah.
Like, if they stopped being a third world country and became a first world country, wouldn't that be like super beneficial?
Has that never come up in any of these UN of like, oh, why don't we just try to make this place a better place?
This is what you got to realize when it comes to politicians. Most of them are already dead or on their way. Unless you're J.D. Vance, he's really young. Tulsi Gabbard's young.
Yeah, Tulsi's the shit.
Most of these people, when you're in office, like Trump is almost 80. Biden, did you see what Biden said yesterday?
No, sir.
Oh, yeah, you see it? They let him talk.
he's like, what, 80-something, 90?
Out of nowhere, they let him, yeah. They're letting him talk. And I'm like, who's letting him talk? This is crazy. Here, I'll send you this, Jamie. It's so silly. He's fucking gone, bro. He's gone, and they let him talk. They just let him get out in the open and put a microphone in front of his face. But I guess, like, as a former president, you can kind of request, I like to speak my mind. One day just had enough mixture. They filled him up with enough peptides. Got a little pep in his step.
Feeling good.
Yeah, man, as a former president, pardon and get out there and die, everybody out there about things. Listen, give me some volume. Go full screen, because this is, you got to see his face.
Simple dignity. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity. Regardless of the skin, regardless of economic situation, regardless of who they are.
Yeah.
Making sure that more than 60 million Americans who live with disabilities are treated with dignity It's who we are as Americans. That's what it's about.
I hope he does more. We should have him at the mothership.
Yeah, we got him. Let him go up. Give him 10.
They
Give him
need
an
a
hour.
leader at school, in their community.
Give him a drink.
He might die.
Every corner of American life. Laws like the ADA, need advocates like you.
Okay.
Everyone's
No, you can tell he got something. He took something that morning and he was fired up.
He's feeling
dude.
good. They got him on a good dose.
He was
Had a nice
fired.
nap. Known gang members and terrorists to go right through the border unchecked. That a lot of them they know got through. They don't know the exact numbers, but they know there's millions and millions of people illegally just walk through unchecked, and a bunch of them have to have criminal records. A bunch of them have to be dangerous, and we've seen crimes that have been committed. It doesn't help anybody on the progressive side to deny the fact that that's a real problem. And if it happens to your family, God forbid, I don't want it to happen to anybody, but if it does, you will feel a sting of regret if you supported that, unlike anything you've ever experienced in your life. You'll be like, I mean, it's one of those things where to support one side of this, you have to deny some like basic human values. Either way, like to support just rounding people up and just assuming they're all gang members. I'm not saying they're doing that, but this is the worst case scenario, right? They get a bunch of people in a room, they rope them all in, and one guy's just someone's cousin picking someone up to give them a ride home. That's possible.
And now you're back on the one innocent person with. Now you're right back.
And what if that dude is not doing anything wrong and he's got some stupid tattoos, and they decide that this guy's a gang member? Now you're in a prison in El Salvador, and you're not even from El Salvador. And now you were just a hairdresser, or you were a tattoo artist,
Family
or whatever
man,
you are.
yeah.
You came over here, and maybe you got a green card, and maybe you don't. Maybe you were just given asylum, because a lot of people from Venezuela were given asylum in America.
Yeah.
And you get shipped to El Salvador, where you're not even from El Salvador. So that the fact that that exists scares the shit out of me. But also the fact that they were just letting terrorists and gang members flow freely into the country is fucking horrible. And when you talk about innocent people, what about the innocent people that got murdered by terrorists and well, not terrorists, that really hasn't happened, but gang members. I mean, this Trender Wagwa that were taking over those apartment buildings in Aurora, Colorado, and like that's scary shit, man. Armed with machine guns, taking over apartment buildings. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, what are we talking about? You're letting that happen? You're not sending in the troops to stop this?
Yeah, and you think that wouldn't, in your head, you're like, that can't happen in America, in Colorado.
Bro, they got a guy that had done that in California, and they refused to deport him because they said that California is a sanctuary state. They're like fighting to keep a known gang member free in America. The whole thing is bananas. It's like almost like you don't want to go full tinfoil hat, Sam Tripoli style, and just decide that they're trying to destroy America. But if I was going to try to destroy America, that's how I would do it.
Yeah.
I'd take over the political process, impart censorship on all the social media, like gaslight people to no end, consistently do it, AstroTurf stadiums filled with people pretending they support something, pay them to be there, manufacture a movement, and slowly but surely bring chaos to all the cities. Allow DAs to get elected that are the worst when it comes to protecting people and the best when it comes to freeing violent criminals. And that's really their goal. And they can do it. They can just use words like racial justice, like just send murderers back out into the streets. You just create chaos. Defund the police. Now you have no police. Like if I wanted to destroy America, I would do it this way.
I mean, what you just described sounds like like a plan from another place. It's like, oh,
if you wanted to destroy America.
if we really wanted to, not with war, but let's just slowly let them kill themselves type stuff.
And then have them at each other's back, at each other's throats rather. Constantly have them fighting over political issues. Let's get rid of Roe v. Wade. They're a little too happy right now. Get rid of Roe v. Wade, and the liberals are up in arms. How you motherfucker? Which was getting rid of Roe v. Wade was actually a good move if you were a Democrat, because then people get upset and then they really want to vote. Like you could probably ignite a lot of people. And that was like, there's some famous videos. There's one famous video of this lady celebrating that Kamala Harris was going to win. And she was like, reproductive freedom. Women came out to vote in unprecedented numbers. I'm sure you've seen it. It's a video of this lady mocking this guy working at a liquor store.
No,
Did you ever see it?
I didn't see this.
It's so good. It's so good because it's like this lady and the way she's talking, like, you can't be a good person and talk to someone this way, or even about someone this way, and be happy in the way you're happy.
Yeah.
Like, it's like people like to be shitty to people and think that it's justifiable to be shitty if that person disagrees with you. So you can be shitty. Whereas the guy in this story is not being shitty to her at all, but she's being super shitty to this guy. And but she's talking about reproductive rights, because like that was like one of the big things that got people to come out and vote for the Democrats.
Yeah.
If I was playing 4D chess and I was a Democrat, I was like, this is ridiculous.
Get rid of ourselves.
Get rid of ourselves. Get rid of that, and then campaign on that. Okay, now we got all the way
Pissed off.
because women don't want men telling them what to do. Bitch, you can't get pregnant. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
Until you can get pregnant, shut the fuck up. You know?
Yeah.
It's like this. So this lady, you got it, Jamie? You find this video. It's so funny. This poor lady. But it's about reproductive rights. Like she's saying that, and it was for a lot of people. But that was a big one. So like you would do that. You would do that. You would get rid of that. You would try to get rid of the Second Amendment. Fuck the Second Amendment. We're gonna get rid of all guns. Oh, the fucking gun guys, get up for the Republicans. You know, and then you would say we need open borders because we need our society is population collapse, and they were starting to say things like that. And we need who's gonna pick cotton? They're essentially marketing it because they're saying Americans don't want these jobs, so we have to bring people in to pick our crops. Who's gonna clean your toilets? People are openly saying that. Like, not realizing how racist
Oh,
it
I
sounds.
remember that lady. The one white lady, she told him, she was like, who's going to clean your toilet if they get rid of all the Mexicans? It's like, what the fuck?
Who said that? Who
It was like
it
on the
that said
View, one of
that?
those crazy View.
One of those View bitches?
She's one of
Yeah.
them, or at least a show
my
like
God.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hilarious. So there was that going on. If you wanted to, like, destroy society and make it worse, what would you do? You bring people in from a third world country, don't have them change anything, financially incentivize them to be there, give them free money while you're not helping the poor people in America. You're giving them debit cards, free housing, free food, putting them up in the Roosevelt Hotel in New York City. Why, you old shit? If you want to destroy society, that's how you do it. That's how you would do it.
I mean, that sounds
You would just keep
like it's
doing
working.
like it's going in that direction.
Yeah.
So the problem with things that are going in a radical direction, and then there's an overcorrection. So the overcorrection is lack of due process. The overcorrection is like round them all up, ship them to jail. Like that's like some things that you say when you're not thinking things through. Like, what do you do about all the criminals? Take them all, fucking send them to El Salvador.
Yeah.
What about due process? No, fuck that. Well, here's the problem with fuck that. What if you are an enemy of, let's not say any current president. Let's pretend we got a new president, totally new guy in 2028. And this is a common practice now of just rounding up gang members with no due process and shipping them to El Salvador. You're a gang member. No, I'm not. Prove it. What? I gotta go to court. No,
Yeah.
no due process.
That's
Right?
dangerous, Joe.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. We got to be careful that we don't become monsters while we're fighting monsters. But then again, you got to find these motherfuckers that are here that have terrorist cells and that are ready to fucking blow up malls in Dallas and do crazy shit, which definitely they've thwarted before.
Yeah.
So like this is the best argument for intelligence agencies is that there's real threats. You know, like for someone to say, fuck all the CIA, fuck the FBI. What, are you crazy? Who's going to investigate real threats? Like the real world exists. As much as you want to pretend that that we can all go kumbaya tomorrow if we all just lay down our arms. No, there's people that are 48 years old and dedicated to crime. Dedicated to crime in Guatemala, and now they're here. You know,
Yeah,
and now they're
dude.
selling fentanyl, and they're not going to stop. Okay?
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and they're on EBT cards where you're getting money from the government for free every month because you're in a sanctuary city
Yeah.
and you get free food and you're a criminal. And then one of them, like two of them, assaulted cops in New York City and then got out, got free. No cash bail. No cash bail. You just get out. They assaulted cops and then they're on the street giving the Tupac to the camera. You ever see that?
No, Joe.
Bro, it's
What?
crazy. First of all, we got to show you the Kamala Harris thing. You got the Kamala Harris thing? You can't find it? They probably scrubbed it from the internet. I mean, she's being changed. I'm not
You're-
sure
you're-
what to look for.
You're putting the
It's
tinfoil
okay.
hat on my head. Right
We
now.
don't,
Like, that's
we
how
don't
I'm feeling.
have to, we don't have to show it. It's because we've already showed it a bunch of times. It's how you would do it if you wanted to destroy America. I'm not saying. So the question becomes like, how much of it is our own folly? How much of it is just natural human behavior? How much of it is like the right wants law and order, so we don't want law and order. The right wants to punish prisoners. We want to, no, it's racist, racism. You know, it's like, what is it?
But that's just teams fighting. It's so,
yeah. But also, I feel like it's manipulated as well, and maybe more so than anything else. I feel like it's manipulated. And again, if you wanted to turn us into China, and what I mean by that is a country that's facial recognition everywhere, social credit score system that's attached to all of your banking, your ability to travel, everything you do. If you make anything online that's against the government, you could be disappeared, you could be locked up, you could be made a political prisoner. You know, this is fun.
It felt like we were heading that way.
Yeah, I think this is something that, I think it was Metzger that said this. No, it was Duncan that said this about Ukraine and Russia. He's like, do you realize, like, the Ukrainians that we're killing, or that rather the Russians that we're killing by sending over arms and money to fund the Ukrainians? Not saying that we shouldn't do this, but he's saying that a lot of those guys are being forced to go to the front line. And a lot of those guys are prisoners who get released in order to fight. So what if you're a prisoner because you wrote a bad tweet against Putin, and they lock you up, and then all of a sudden Ukrainians are killing you with American weapons because you tweeted bad against Putin? So it's Putin's way of, like, eliminating any dissent from, like, and they don't even arrest that many people online in comparison to, or for doing things online in comparison to the UK. The UK is getting in on it full steam ahead. The UK is arresting people for anything that makes people uncomfortable online. They show up at your house and just fucking arrest you. They've arrested, like, how many people have been arrested in the UK for social media posts in the last year? It's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. This is just posts on social media, like, we need to send these illegal immigrants back. Saying shit like that.
Yeah.
You get arrested. Hate crime.
Even if I'm joking? Even if I'm just fucking having a...
There's no jokes.
Wow.
No jokes online anymore. Not in the UK. Not only that, but the guy who's the head of the UK, they're saying now that they could potentially arrest Americans who have posted things online when they visit the UK. Yeah, I was reading a post about this. Like, this law could potentially be used in this way. That if you are a person in America and you're posting horrible shit about the UK government or the immigrant problem or whatever they have, context find available information, exact figures 2025, not fully comprehended. 2023. In 2023, 12,183 arrests were made across 37 police forces in the UK under Section 127 of the Communications Act 2003 and Section 1 of the Malicious Communications Act in 1988, equating to about 33 arrests per day. Laws cover sending grossly offensive, indecent, obscene, or menacing messages via electronic communication networks, which includes social media haves. Just by the nature of the world, you're going to have have-nots. And the disparity between haves and have-nots is off the charts. And it's probably only going to get bigger. That's what's really kind of scary. With AI and the ability to generate wealth and what you're going to be able to figure out and do, and the different ways that people are going to be able to manipulate markets and dominate certain industries with AI, I think the have and have-nots. And then you're going to have also automation, which takes over everything. So all these jobs
gone.
Bro, I was just driving. Have you ever, like, we're not going to be driving much longer, dude.
I don't think my kid I don't think my kid's gonna know driving. I think they'll know, like, no, everyone has an automated car.
Yeah, check this out. I'm gonna share this with you, Jay. I did this yesterday in my car. My car just drives itself, dog. Just drives itself. If you have a Tesla, and if I put in my address, I go doot doot, I press these buttons, and it just takes off. It stops at red lights, it changes lanes, it, like, slows down when the traffic slows down, speeds up when the traffic speeds up.
You could completely check out if you wanted to.
Totally check out. You could totally check. I don't do it. I keep my hand here. Yeah. I'm still freaked out.
Because you've been driving your whole life.
Yeah, it's also just feels weird with it, but it does it. You got the video?
And it does it well, too?
Oh, does it show things on the screen?
On my screen.
Oh, how dare you. Did I fuck up?
No.
What does it show? Like my address?
No, it's just stuff that I don't want shown.
Oh, I see. Okay, here it is. Check this out. This is me in the car yesterday.
I don't like to do it all the time, but every now and again, it's pretty wild. It changes lanes, it hits the blinkers.
See, look, it sees all those cars. That screen, it's a representative of all the cars. It knows where all the cars are. Look, it's changing lanes. It hits the blinker and changes lanes to get around these trucks.
It's the future.
Why?
It's over.
How wild is that? It shows you on the screen on the front where your dashboard is. It shows you all the cars around you, all of them. It keeps track of them. It knows how fast they're going. See that guy passed me on the left? It shows that. Why?
And he's flying by you, so it's like it knew the speed and rate that he was going.
And it knew that there was an open lane, so it hit the blinkers and it changed lanes. And it knows there's people behind me. It knows there's people to the right of me.
No,
it stops at red lights, dude, and then speeds up again. Stops at stop signs. It sees the cars to the left and cars to the right. Knows when to go, and you can just kind of check out. You just like hold your hand like this. Think about your life. And have the robot drive you around. That is just going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be driving in these robot taxis. You're not going to own a car. Like, this is what the World Economic Forum wants. You will own nothing and you'll be happy. You'll be like that man who has $2 an hour and so happy. All your food will be free. You don't need a job. That's where the have and have-nots get sketchy. Because when automation takes over everything, don't worry, we'll give you universal basic income. And so they give universal basic income to everybody, so everybody's reliant 100% on the government now. And then there's people that own all the electric taxi companies and own all the computer factories and own all the AI companies and
the semi-trucks that'll be automated.
Those are the oligarchs. Those are the haves. And the haves never want to give that up. They always want more and more and more. They always want to keep winning that game. They want to stack money. They want to be the first trillionaire. They want to just keep stacking.
Because then it goes to your family and your family, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, maybe our family can be president one day. Our family now can.
I drink your milkshake. That's it, man.
What a callback. That's exactly what it is.
That's it, man. It's a natural human dominator instinct. It's a tribal dominator instinct, and it's just applied to fiat currency and Bitcoin and financial power and influence, and they want to control social media. We're going to give everybody a vaccine. Nuts.
You know those Waymos? This is how I know this is going to be have-nots. You know those Waymos cars, those self-driving cars? If you order one, it's still the same price as like an Uber, pretty much. So it's like, where is this money going?
Right.
I thought the money was going to the driver.
Right.
Like I thought, okay, I'm giving half the money to the company, probably half the money, or whatever, however they split it. But so now you're telling me there's no driver, but the price is the same. So you're not going to lower the price.
Right.
Where is this extra money going?
In their pocket.
Jonas.
More profitable.
Because they're going to do that with semi-trucks?
Yeah.
They're going to do it with everything. They're like,
and then they're going to try to pass legislation to stop driving. You shouldn't be able to drive because their money is in driving you around. Why should you be able to drive? You're dangerous.
You cause accidents.
Statistically, humans cause all these accidents.
You drink, humans do this.
Bro, that's how they can get you. That's why they're saying, we don't eat beef. Cows are destroying the environment. Cows are responsible for climate change. And what it could be in the thing I have here, my plant-based meals, my plant-based burgers. You need unstoppable meat. Whatever the fuck they have.
But it'll be just like Animal Farm because they'll still be eating cow. They'll be eating. The top people are going to eat cheese and the nice fun things.
Bro, they're going to be eating dodo bird burgers. They're eating Siberian tiger loin. They're having a good time carving up some rhino steaks. They're a bunch of monsters. And that's the whole market for rhino horns.
Yeah.
You know what that market's for?
What?
It's rich people that want to get off on the fact that they're drinking tea from an endangered species. That's what's the rhino horns. That's what they're valuable for. That's why people are killing people. They're killing people so that they can kill the rhinos, so they can cut their horns off, so they can sell them to Asia, where very wealthy people get off on the fact that they're drinking rhino horn tea, and they think it makes your dick hard.
Yeah, they do think it makes your dick hard,
which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, you know about Viagra, bitch? Like, you heard of Blue Chew? What are you talking about? It's so stupid. But it's like there's way better ways. You don't have to kill a rhino, but that's not the point. The point is they want to kill the rhino. so that they get this forbidden thing. We're responsible for extinction here as we sip this tea. That's how dark people get. That's like the type of people that want exclusive things.
That's Squid Game stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I want to watch.
Darkness, man. That's darkness. That's real human beings will do that. They will drink rhino horn tea. That's the only market for rhino horns. They're not valuable. It's not like tusks. Like elephant tusks are made out of ivory, and ivory is very valuable, and they use it for all kinds of different things. They always used to use it for ornaments. They used to make pool balls out of ivory. And then they stopped allowing people to sell ivory, and then you could only buy like pre-ban ivory in America. But that makes sense because you're killing an animal for this one thing that's a commodity, and it's fucked up. But the rhino horn don't even make sense. Like, you're killing an animal just so you could drink the tea? That's crazy, and they're almost extinct.
Also, to kill such a
Majestic.
creature,
Yeah.
like, wow, this is a fucking animal.
A crazy looking creature, man. Like, it doesn't look like it belongs in this time. It looks like it's
No.
from the dinosaur days.
I read this thing yesterday about, you ever heard the bear that's called the boss?
Oh yeah, that one bear that's he's got like thousands of kids.
Yeah, Joe,
He got hit by a train.
Twice. He got hit by that means he got hit by the train. It was like, run it back. Run it back, you bitch
Fuck
ass
this
train.
I'm gonna knock this motherfucker off the tracks this time.
He got hit by a train twice, has
Yeah.
all the cubs, and apparently eats other bears sometimes just to let them remind people, because he's so old that the young bears try him. So I read he eats them sometimes just to be like, I gotta let everybody know.
Bears eat bears. That's real common. They eat cubs. It's real dark. A friend of mine saw it. He saw my friend Jonathan up in Alberta. He saw a bear and the sow and the boar were fighting. So male's the boar, female's the sow. They were fighting because the male was trying to kill the cubs, as the female's trying to fight him off. And eventually she can't fight him off, and he gets a hold of one of the cubs and kills it. And then she scares him off of the cub that he killed, and then she eats the cub. She eats her own cub. Once it's dead, she's like, I'll just eat it.
Why do you think?
'Cause it's
Out
just
of
food.
it's food? It's like,
just
fuck
food. Once it's dead, it's just food.
Bro, that's funny.
You think $2 an hour is hard life? Bears are shitting on ghettos. Like, you think it's hard?
You think it's
Bitch, I go outside every day thinking I'm gonna get eaten.
Dealing with the boss bear.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens also when you have, that's how nature balances out ecosystems, right? Because if there's no natural predators for bears, they have to eat themselves. Because there's nothing to eat a grizzly bear. So
Yeah.
they have to eat each other. That's the only way they keep the population down.
To keep it. So there's still some salmon and some other things left for everybody else.
So when cubs are born, there's two things that happen. There's three things. One, the male thinks of them as food, so he wants to kill them for food. Like, they hunt them. They go into the dens. When the males come out of hibernation early, they go into dens to look for cubs to eat them. They know they do that for food. Two, they try to bring the female into estrus again. So if they can kill the cubs, then the female will want to breed so she can have more cubs. And so it'll get the female so that she'll want to breed again. And then three is competition. They look at those cubs as potential future competition. So it's all these horrible ways of this beautiful nature. Nature's amazing. Nature is a fucking bloodbath.
Yeah,
It's a bloodbath. Even the grass is screaming. They found out that grass screams now. Yeah, plants make noise when you're eating them. They just can't move.
That's too much. That is, the fact that we are the apex, because you were saying something yesterday, we were saying how, like, it's crazy to think that aliens wouldn't think we're interesting.
Yeah, that's that dumb argument that I had with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like, what are you saying?
Because when you think about, like, man, we are the top dog on this
We're
planet. That's interesting
so
in itself.
Different than everything else here. If you're going to study anything anywhere in the fucking universe, of course you would study human beings. If you're going to study anything, you would go, what is this wild, crazy, territorial primate with nuclear weapons and cell phone addictions? What is this motherfucker
And they're soft.
up to?
We could easily be killed.
Easily.
And we're still top dog.
And they might have made us. They might have engineered us, son. That's a real, on the table, less than 0% or more than 0% possibility. We might have been genetically engineered. It's a real possibility. It's a real possibility when you look at other primates and us, like, what happened here? What happened here? How are our cousins still roaming around barefoot, covered in hair?
Yeah.
You know, swinging from trees, eating bananas, and we are somehow or another flying rockets with an all-chick crew, and then landing with parachutes. Like, what? Why are we so different?
Yeah.
And why we keep seeing UFOs? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
And we control the tigers, the things that could kill us. We're like, no, we're in charge.
Yeah, we're in charge. Bitch ass water balloons. We're basically blood balloons, sticks holding it all together.
Compared to things that are fucking built like trucks.
Yeah, like a rhino. Like, how the fuck is a rhino in danger for its stupid horn when our bitch asses are ones killing the rhino?
Yeah, dude.
That doesn't make any sense. We're not even eating them. Just killing them and sawing off their fucking horns.
That would be, yeah. If you're an alien, you're like, they do what?
You see what they're doing now to rhinos to prevent this? They dart them and saw their horns off first so that no one wants to kill them. How fucked up is that? How fucked up? Have you seen that?
No, but the rhino must need the horn in like for protection for like it must need it in some
if
way.
They want to fight. Yeah, they want to fight other rhinos and fight off lions and shit like that. Yeah, you need that horn. I mean, there's a reason why they have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they evolved to have this giant fucking weapon in the middle of their face.
So to cut it off, I mean, fucking
What a
badass.
fucked up way to go. You ever see him launch lions into the air?
fucking
Just launch those motherfuckers in
Dude.
the air. Like, fuck you, bro. Try getting through this.
But yeah, to cut that off,
Yeah.
what does that do to the rhino? Can it live out in the?
Yeah, it lives fine.
Okay.
It lives fine, but it just doesn't have a weapon anymore. But it also is not attracted to the main monster, which is humans. And humans that just wanted to drink a tea to get your dick hard. This thing is not good. Whoa, brick. They don't even work, I don't think. Does it work? Find out. Does rhino horn, it might be one of them ancient Chinese secrets. It's legit. Does rhino horn get your dick hard? How dare you?
I have a friend. You know that Ron Taylor comedian? He's like, Afro. He's in the green. He's at Mothership. He told me he took it one time. He's like, man, I couldn't see anything, but my dick was fucking
Really?
touching the ceiling.
He took rhino horn?
He took but like the gas station. I don't know if that's
Oh,
really.
that's not the same thing.
Is that not the same
That's
thing?
those red band pills. No.
But he said he couldn't see, but man, his dick was hard. He said he could feel it.
Oh, yeah. No. That's like Rhino 2000, those gas station boner pills. Yeah, those are legit. Sometimes. But I mean, you want to talk about taking a chance on your life. Like, who knows what's in there?
That is.
Who knows what's in there?
His chest is filled out. His back straighter.
I love when I come here and you two guys are in the gym and you're by yourselves. No one's pushing you. I love it.
The only thing, because we do every single thing that we did back when we were working out, but other than some days that we look at that cold plunge, we're like, Joe, you're a fucking psycho. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Not getting in cold water for you today, dude.
I'm down to work out tomorrow if you guys want to do it. Of course. All right, let's do it.
Hell yeah, we'll get a good old school one in.
Yeah, we'll get an old school one.
I'll get in the cold plunge. If we're all doing it, I need we all to be doing it.
So my friend Sean, who trained Alex Jones, is now training Shane. He's going to start training Shane.
I heard about it. He put some gauntlets.
I told Shane, I said, don't let him kill you. Don't let him kill you. So make sure you back him off a little at the beginning. These fucking psychopaths.
Yeah. I remember when Hassan did it with him the first time, Sean, he got him to do it. I was out of town with Schultz, and Hassan called me and goes, bro, I threw up twice. And I go, at the end? He goes, no, at the beginning. I was like, bro, get the fuck out of here.
You gotta build up to that kind of stuff. That's the thing. Like, Sean's in great shape. You know, and some, you know, if you're used to like coaching Navy SEALs, and you're like, come on, pussy, we gotta go. You know, like carry the fucking log.
Yeah.
Who's gonna carry the boats? That's one thing. But when you're a guy like Shane and you're on a workout on again, off again, on again, off again, like you can't hurt the guy. Like you gotta like start slow.
Yeah.
Like when we started working out, what we do? Start slow.
Real slow. I mean, you were teaching us how to use the kettlebells, let alone going super hard at it. Whereas now, you know, me and Hassan have upped our weight because now we've done it so many, like the
tomorrow's
rhythm of
gonna be
kettlebell.
fun.
Oh, dude, I'm excited for tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I was gonna tell you this about Hassan's hair.
That's back to it. We're seeing him on the security camera. Go, what the fuck are you doing?
I
bro?"
was like, he looks like a fucking psycho. I can't believe it. People love it.
They
But
love it.
I'll never forget this. One night I'm working the back door of the Comedy Store, and this is when Theo Von had he went from a guy we all knew to he's now Theo Von. And I'm sitting back there, and he pulled in, and we're just kind of hanging at the back door, and he goes, Derek, let me tell you something, man. He goes, I was getting $2,000 a weekend before this hair. Since this mullet, I get about $40K a weekend. And walked off. And I was like, what the am I supposed to get him? Yeah, I literally was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
You know what, though? It's true, but it's not true. So it's true that when the haircut came, he got more money on the weekend. But it's also like the haircut freed him to be Theo Vaughn.
I
Like,
agree.
do you remember when I remember very clearly the first time I ever saw Theo. And he was doing a bit about being on, not even a bit, he was telling a story, a true story, about when he was young, his father was really old. Like his father had him when he was like 70.
Yes.
Yeah, something crazy. And he said he remembers being on acid, lying next to his father, and realized his father's just dying. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever been around someone who's like
Really
100 years old?
Oh, yeah.
They feel like there's no life force in them.
Yeah.
Like
and they're
the
almost
life
trapped
force
in
is
their mind.
slipping away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's on acid, lying next to him. Like, whoa, this guy's weird. Like, what a weird set. And
Yeah.
then, he was talking about all kinds of other stuff too, but it was really fun, but it was interesting, And then I remember seeing him about a year and a half later, and I couldn't fucking breathe. I was just crying loud. My cousin got bit by a gay guy, so we'll see. I was just like, what the fuck are you saying? What the fuck are you saying? And it was the timing and the just the material was like all over the place this weird way. I love a guy like that.
Yeah. I agree. You're right. It wasn't, the mullet might have just been the little touch, but he was already your
Sometimes
favorite
you
to
need
watch.
something like that to make you feel different, like some dudes, I think, like dressing nice on stage because they feel different. Or Bert likes to take his shirt off because he feels different. Bert could do the same set with a tuxedo on. It would be the same
Murder.
fun. Yeah, it would be the same fun. It just makes him feel free to let that fucking gut hang out and show everybody he's willing to drink himself to death for you.
Like he's a fucking gladiator, dude. But they love it. But I do get that feeling of like being free on stage and truly, because that does separate yourself too. Of like, oh, this is how I am.
Yeah, you got to learn how to do that some way, right? And some people it's alcohol, and some people it's the way they dress, and some people it's weed, and some people it's, they have to run, they have to jog before they do a set.
Yeah. I remember seeing Eleanor, she would do dips. You'll catch her in the back of the hall, and she's just cranking out dips. And then she goes up, but then you see when she's up, like, oh, that energy had to just, it was just coming out of her.
Yeah, it's coming out of you. Also, you want to get your heart rate up a little bit, so your body is like, and your mind is like things are flowing really good. You don't want to be like sleepy and then go on stage, right?
Yeah.
That's the worst thing in the world. Or a full meal.
Yeah.
And go on stage. You want to be up a little.
I heard Bill Burr say something, but he's just one of the greatest to ever do it. But it always made me go, damn, because I always felt that way. Like, no, I wouldn't eat before a meal. I'm eating before a show. I wouldn't eat. And then I heard him say once, he was like, oh, I used to not eat before shows. And then I got older, and I'd fucking have a Thanksgiving dinner before a show and go up and talk the whole set about how I had a Thanksgiving dinner and how fucking fat I am and how gross we all are in America. And it was just like that freedom of like, wow, he really doesn't give a fuck, this guy.
Bill is also amazing at being Bill. Like, like he has his opinions, what he thinks is stupid about something, and he's just like locked in. You know what I mean? Like there's no, like some comics, like you'll see one of their hours and it's kind of like one kind of energy, and then the other hour it's like kind of a different kind of energy. With Bill Burr, it's Bill Burr. I'm Bill Burr. I'm Bill Burr. He knows how to be Bill Burr. He's professionally Bill Burr.
That's a
you know what I mean?
great
Like
point.
a lot of people couldn't even do his material. It would just like wouldn't work.
No, and it would sound like
Horrible.
hateful.
Yeah.
Like, this guy fucking hates the world, dude.
But that's just the magic of becoming, you, right? Like there's a few, like Attell is the absolute best at it. Attell has a timing and a presence, and then the material, the way it's written, like a lot of it on paper, you'd be like, what is this? I don't understand how this would be funny. But you see him do it in real life, you're like, oh my God, you're just crying.
Yeah, and when the crowd is more ruckus, he's better.
He's in on the corniness of some of the stuff too, which makes it even more fun. It's like there's many layers to it, and some of it is just like just brilliant observations on things. Some of them is completely ridiculous. It's just all, but it's woven into David Tell.
And he'll pull out a fucking recorder.
Yeah. He starts playing the flute.
It's crazy.
Bro, when we saw him live, I was so fucking impressed.
At the Mothership,
I was
I
so
remember that.
impressed. I was like, that is so good. Who's another one like that? Colin Quinn.
Man, when he was here.
Bro, you see him live, you're like, wow, that was so good. Just so fun. You forget how good he is.
Yeah, and then you're learning shit. You're like, I didn't know this.
Yeah, he's like a history wizard. I remember we did Tough Crowd once, and Colin used to do stand-up to the crowd before the show would start, before we'd sit down and do Tough Crowd.
He was doing the warm-up for his own show?
Yeah, he was doing the warm-up for his own show. This one time. I don't know if he did it all the time, but he was murdering. And I was watching this, I was like, people don't know how good he is. Like, this is crazy. Because, like, there's some guys that warm up for their show, and it's like a monologue. They're doing a few jokes. It's like, it's okay, but I'm not in it. I'm not really feeling it. With him, it was like I was at a club. I was like dying laughing like I was at a comedy club. I was like, people don't know. This is, like, there's a few of these guys that just never got good at promoting, you know, and they're really good.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is the really good ones are not bitter, that they're not as famous as they deserve to be. Like, Attell is like the least bitter guy alive.
Yeah, he's so cool.
Not even remotely bitter, always friendly.
Yeah, he'll talk
always
to like open micer all day. He'll,
sweet, peaceful, like he's as present as you can get. And he's infinitely less famous than he should be. Yeah. He should be selling out arenas all over the world. He's that good. He's so good, dude. He might be the best comic alive. There's like a few in my mind that are like in the running for that. Like, who's the best? I guess there's no one best.
It's hard. It's
you know, because
sports,
you always have to consider Chappelle. He's the GOAT of our generation. He's the most prolific. He has social impact. He's hilarious and silly, and he's a sweetheart of a person too. So you have to think that. But then I go with like sheer RPMs. I gotta go with Joey Diaz.
I knew it, yeah.
Sheer RPMs where you just like, how many nights were we in the back of the Comedy Store where we couldn't even talk. You couldn't breathe.
You're not even laughing anymore. You're just kind of
wheezing. Everybody's just wheezing.
Him
making wheezing noises and slapping things.
Man, I remember back that era, seeing him and how people feel about him now, whatever. But at that time, man, when Chris D'Elia was on stage in that main room some night, it was mind blowing. The RPMs, just the amount of laughter and how fast would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he could kill. There's a magic to that thing. I think that's hypnosis. I've always thought that. I think that, like, for a long time at least, I'm like, what is happening to me when someone's on stage and they're killing? You know, like when Shane's on fire. What is happening to me? I think I'm like locked in with their mind. I don't think it's as simple as I'm watching a show or something like that, because I love like watching a funny movie, you know, Tropic Thunder or something like that. I love laughing watching a funny movie, but I don't feel the same way I feel when a guy is in front of me on stage doing stand-up. And I think as great as specials are, they're like 60 to 70% of being there live.
Yes.
Always. Because I think there's something about being there live that's like, it's hypnosis. There's something going on where that person's making me think the way they think.
Yeah. When someone brings you into their world, and like you said, you're just living in it, and you're not even thinking about you're just like, I'm living in this guy's essence right now.
Exactly. You're living in this person's imagination, in this person's work, right? Because they like they set this set up.
Yeah.
And they danced it around their head, and they wrote it down on paper. That's the other interesting thing about what we do is like there's no like one way to do it. I always say my way to do it, but you know, I don't think Bill writes shit down. I think he keeps it all in his head. Yeah, Dave mostly keeps it all in his head too.
Schultz does that too.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Like, that's the Jay-Z thing too, right?
Yeah.
Jay-Z kept it all in his head.
Lil Wayne, they just and it's insane. They're releasing. It's not like they're releasing one album.
But who's the best writer? Nas wrote everything down. You can't write rewind in your head.
No, you can't.
No.
It's a story backwards.
It's a story backwards. It's another level. That's another level. That's like him pulling his dick out and just like slapping that shit on the table, right? Yeah, that song is, when you want to say like writing, like I challenge anybody in the world. Who's got a better written song than Rewind from Nas?
That's a great take. I would agree with that.
It's
perfectly fluent backwards. It's insane. It's a language almost.
Fluent backwards. It's magic. It's like a magic song.
Yeah.
It's so, and while you're watching it, you're appreciating the fact that he pulled it off.
Yeah.
You know, like while you're listening, you're appreciating the fact that he pulled off this song backwards.
Yeah, it's impressive to watch the different ways people do it. I mean, I'm biased because I tour with him, but man, when I'm out with fucking Schultz, dude, because people just see him come up with that 10 minutes up top. You know, like we'll go to Abu Dhabi, and you just see it, right? But man, I get to see how he gets there, and he gets to town, and no matter where we are, and all he does is he just talks to people, and he doesn't say anything. He gets a random person who's lived in wherever we're at for a long time, and he just lets them, and you just see him, kind of like, and his eyes will light up when somebody says a certain thing, and his eyes will light up, and he's like, ooh, okay, oh, that's going on. Oh, then what do they think of this? Or what are the time? And he'll ask a couple questions.
Yeah.
And he'll do it. And I'm not talking about 30 minutes, Joe. He'll talk to somebody for 3-4 hours before the show, and just soak in all the culture and all the information. And then you see him go on stage, and it's a full, flush 10-minute chunk about a place.
Joe, he's a special talent. He's a special talent.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, he's very special. And, and it's also like, you got to realize he's doing these jokes in front of 16,000 people for the first time. He's got a new joke, and he's busting it out in front of 16,000 people about their area.
Yes.
Bro, that shit he did in Hawaii about the chickens being so confident.
Oh, my Joe, I was the black guy. We got out the van, and he saw the chickens run up to me. He's like, these chickens are too confident, dog. He's like, they don't know Derek. And we're dying, and it cuts to, it's a form bit later that night, and it's like, this guy is incredible.
And that's another example. Like, what is he doing? How's he doing that to that crowd with those great jokes? He's locking those people in, or you're letting him think for you. Like, come on, man, think for me. Mm-hmm. Let me have a good time and think for me.
Yeah, and not only that, but you're talking about my own personal experience in Hawaii.
Right.
And now you're going into your set, and you have me. You have me completely wrapped around you.
Yeah, you're a pro.
It was insane.
He keeps getting better.
He
was good when I first saw him a few years back. He just keeps getting better.
Well, like you said earlier, how to see people do different hours. I
You know
toured
what
with
else
them
he
for
did too,
instruments.
though?
It's different.
Like, people forget he was like the first guy to really capitalize on the pandemic with his videos, where he essentially created a completely new kind of stand-up, right? So it's stand-up without the pauses that you would require if an audience was laughing. So it's more rapid paced.
Yeah.
Like, he thought this through, dude. This is like a genius thing. Those things turn your phone sideways.
Yes.
So that's what you used to have to do back in the day, kids. Back 5 years ago. All you fucking 15-year-olds, when you were 10, you didn't know about this. But when you turn your phone sideways, and then it would play out in wide format. And he would kind of do stand-up with images and with punchlines, and it was fucking great.
Incredible.
But it was a way faster pace than he does stand-up on stage.
Yeah.
It was like the punchlines, and then you this and that, and I'm like, oh my God, he figured it out.
Yeah.
He figured out how to make like really compelling stand-up for someone who's not there.
Well, it's like a late night monologue from one of those late night hosts, but like a real motherfucker doing it, and really giving their actual opinion.
Exactly. It's genius, because like that was an example of someone innovating in like a crisis. Like, there's a situation that happened, you're forced to, everyone, some, like during the pandemic, some people just curled up in a shell and decided, I'm not leaving my house anymore.
Yeah.
And then some people are like, okay, what can we do? Okay, I'm gonna figure out how to do stand-up in this little video format. Turn your phone sideways.
Yeah.
And then everybody started sharing them, and then Netflix does a thing, Andrew Schultz Saves America.
Andrew Schultz Saves America.
Yeah, which I don't think they should get the money back. How dare you?
Yeah, some of those people are still trapped in their houses.
It's crazier than ever right now.
But yeah, he did. I mean, even with clips,
Genius.
with
Genius.
clips, it's him. I give him that credit. Of like,
He does it all the time. And he also, because his stuff is local, and a lot of it, like these opening bits that he comes up with, are you kind of have to get them out now.
Yeah.
Right. So he can just release them on like the fucking when we did the P Diddy thing when he went to LA. That's just at P Diddy's house.
Brother, he wrote that shit 10 minutes before he walked up into the forum. 20,000 people. 20,000 people. He wrote it 10 minutes. And it was me and Mark Agnon are sitting there like, holy fuck. How did he come up with this? We were just hanging with him.
That's so funny.
He's in the group, AG1 has been a longtime partner of the show, and I'm excited to share a great offer they have going on right now. You can get a free month supply of AG1's omega-3 supplement and a free bottle of D3K2 with your first subscription order. The omega-3 soft gel supplement complements AG1, making it easy to get the fatty acids you need.
while the D3K2 liquid drops can help provide 2 essential vitamins. They're made with high-quality ingredients following the latest scientific research. And together with AG1, they work to give you the nutrients and minerals you might be missing from your diet. If you haven't tried AG1 yet, they're bundling it with their omega-3 and vitamin D3K2 products for free, so it couldn't be a better time to start. Subscribe today and get a 1-month supply of AG omega-3 and a bottle of vitamin D3K2 with your first AG1 order. You'll also get their welcome kit with everything you need to get started on your AG1 journey. So make sure you check out drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan to claim this special offer. That's drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan.
It's sort of like when you have a muscle to do something and you do that thing all the time, then you just get better and better and better at doing that thing, and then you get in the groove. Like we were talking about, like Attell, like Theo, like when someone gets in the groove of who they are, you know, like Tony is on Kill Tony. Perfect example.
That's it. Unreal.
He's locked in. He's in the groove. He's been doing it so long. He knows when to dance and when to pause.
When to ask a serious question, when to get goofy, when to let the panel know. It's pretty impressive.
If you can find something like that to do in your life, you'll have a much better life than if you just get a job. And I know that's not everybody can, but if you can, you definitely should.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you definitely should do that.
Being excited for every day and nervous and anxious and oh, is this that feeling? I mean, to not have it, I can't believe people go. I get having you got to go to work, you got to make money, but the idea of like, man, never that feeling of anxiety and looking forward to something and it not going the way you planned. And so you got to go the next day and figure out what went wrong. And like, I love that. That's what I love about stand-up, the figuring it out, the math of it all.
Yeah, it's a great job, man. We're so fucking lucky.
Yeah, dude.
We're so lucky.
God, you've been in it long enough to see everybody. Did you see this thing Damon Wayans said about you?
Yeah, he said he stole one of my jokes.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that. But the way he said it, I've never seen someone say I stole a joke, and he was like, man, he said I saw it, and then I actually realized I stole Joe's joke, and I was like, oh, I gotta stop watching, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It just stuck in the back of his head. But I know you give him his flowers, so I was like, I know the guy's not a joke thief.
No. That happens, man. Sometimes you think you came up with it, but somebody else did, and you heard it, and you forgot. That can definitely, especially if it's a subject that you never cover, and time has passed, and then this subject comes up, like something comes up, and you're like, and it almost like Dave Attell's the best at that. He'll call you up, because you have to check sometimes, like, hey, have you heard this? You know, like you have he's the best at that. Dave does that all the time. Like you gotta check every now and then. Like this one seems too easy because the memory is weird. You know, memory.
Yeah.
You ever go back to like your old neighborhood where you grew up and you're like, this house is way smaller than I thought it was.
It was a
This
mansion.
is all different.
Yeah.
The driveway's different. Everything's different. Looks weird. You know, your memory's shitty. It's good. I mean, it keeps you from fucking picking up the wrong spider. But you know what I mean? It's not a photographic representation of reality, and that's a problem.
And you guys have been doing stand-up 20 years, so how many bits have you seen? Just
seen too many bits. Yeah. So you can, and then there's parallel thinking. There's a lot, but you know when someone's a thief and Damon's not a thief. I always said that Damon, man, he might be one of the most underappreciated comics ever, because like when he was in his prime, you got to realize he was like. You know, if you're looking at today, he was like Chappelle. He was like in that same level of recognition as being like one of the best guys alive. But then they got him with those TV shows, man.
and movies, he wanted to be a movie
He was
star.
the last Boy Scout. He was going to be a movie star. He did that big Bruce Willis. And it was a good movie.
Yeah.
And then it looked like he was going to be a movie star after that.
I mean, he had some great, like Blank Man, where he's a retarded superhero.
God, that was so ridiculous. Try doing that today.
You couldn't do that.
Bro,
so
when
good.
he used to do Handyman on In Living Color. Oh my God.
They might be one of the greatest families, the Wayans family.
For sure. Who's number two? They're number one.
They might be 1 and 2, Joe. I don't know who.
What other families are there that are like big show, not in comedy? What other family? Am I missing something? Am I forgetting somebody?
I mean, I know In Living Color was so
it's
big.
like them and then the Sklar brothers. Like it's no other families.
Yeah,
There's nobody in the hunt.
In Living Color is so big, Joe. Did you know this? That the reason we have the Super Bowl halftime show is because of In Living Color.
That's crazy.
So in
Really?
Living
Is
Color,
that true?
That's true. So before Michael Jackson did, the year they brought Michael Jackson was because the year before that, In Living Color aired during the Super Bowl. And they lost so many viewers. They lost like a not half, a big number where that they were like, we can't let people leave during the halftime show because this show is too big.
What year was that?
I want to say Michael Jackson was 95, maybe
It had to be
96?
earlier than that.
Maybe 94?
It had to be earlier than that because I remember watching it on TV at a pool hall.
93.
Yeah.
93.
So I was just moving to New York, to LA from New York then. So I was in New York at a pool hall watching it. And I remember watching Fire Marshal Bill. And I'd be like, how can you do this? How is this allowed? Like, this show's crazy. You have to realize for 93, there was nothing like if you think about the internet today and all the crazy videos that people put together and the years of Mad TV and you know,
SNL.
yeah.
Yeah.
But back then, man, there was nothing like this show. This show was crazy.
That is Paul. Oh my God, that is Paulie right in the corner.
Oh, look at it, Paulie.
The wee.
Look at him. He's moving that head like a pigeon, bro. He's here now too.
Yeah, I know
Isn't
that
fun
great.
hanging out with Paulie? It's like being at the store, man.
It's the best.
But
This is unreal. How big this
The
was.
show was great, but Damon, you watch if you want to watch something. Watch, I think it's The Last Stand. I think that was one of his. I think that's the name of it. Something like. I think it's The Last Stand, but it's fucking phenomenal, and it's so good, but it's also like so good if you go back to that time, because comedy, like everything else, has evolved with all the scrutiny on it and all the different high-level people that are doing it. Like, there's the comedy right now, I think, is at like the highest level that I've ever seen. There's so many really great comedians. I think in the 1980s, like if you go back, you had Kennison, you had Eddie Murphy, you had Richard Pryor, you had George Carlin, you had a bunch of really good guys, Jerry Seinfeld. But not many after that, you know, wasn't as thick.
Yeah.
As thick with assassins. But I think like right now, there's so many assassins out there. There's more arena acts out there right now than has ever been in the history of comedy. Yeah. You gotta realize arena acts started with Dice Clay. So Dice Clay starts off he becomes an arena act in like 87-ish.
Late 80s is when arena act comedy started.
Mm-hmm. Before that, and nobody was doing it but Dice. Dice was the only arena act. Yeah, and then arena act number 2, Dane Cook.
And that's how many years later?
Many. Because this is like, Dane Cook becomes an arena act in like the 2000s. Wow. Yeah. So then there's Dane Cook. Dane Cook starts selling on arenas. I was like, what is happening? What is happening? And then all of a sudden, the internet happens, and social media happens, and a lot of comics. Like we were talking about, like Dave Attell and Colin Quinn. Like Dave Attell is one of the best to ever do it. And if there's ever a club where he's not sold out the moment it's on stage, that's a travesty. That doesn't make any sense. But they didn't connect to the internet the same way, and because the notoriety is not commensurate to the talent. Whereas like with Schultz, the notoriety and the talent are perfectly balanced. It's the same level. So everybody knows how good he is, and everybody knows who he is. It's like it's locked in. Where it's like Dave Attell is this, but like the notoriety is like us talking about him only. Word of mouth only. His
Like a
social
secret.
media is hot garbage. He's got a flip phone.
He's got a flip
and
phone.
He texts you with a do 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 do. He's got to press 4 times to get an R or whatever the fuck it is. You know, it's so stupid. It's so
crazy.
stupid.
He does it like that.
It's crazy he does it like that. Like, why do you do it like that?
Because he could be on the internet more. I mean, I remember when he had that show, Insomniac. That's when I first
But
saw
here,
him.
let me throw this at you because I've been trying to stay off social media more and more every day, like a little less every day. And the more I do it, the better I feel. It's like not being poisoned. It really is. It's like getting away from a poison that you didn't know was a poison, like some forever plastics in your Starbucks cup or something. You know, like,
Yeah.
I quit those Starbucks cups, and all of a sudden, you know what I mean? It's like something like that. Like I quit drinking tap water, and all of a sudden, I could think better. You know? Oh, that's right. Oh my God, that's right. You know,
people
I forgot
forget
about Steve
him.
Martin. But I forgot about Steve Martin for two reasons. One, because Steve Martin was a little different. He was doing stand-up, but it was a lot of songs, and it was, you know what I mean? He was great, by the way. Like, Let's Get Small is phenomenal. But I think he got to a point where comedy became too easy, because so he didn't know what was funny anymore because everybody loved him so much, and he stopped doing stand-up, which is really weird.
Wow.
Probably didn't have good friends.
Yeah,
If
because
he had good friends, we would have grabbed him like we grabbed Ron White. Remember when Ron White was trying to
retired.
quit?
Yeah, like, what are you talking about?
I'm gonna retire. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Isn't comedy fun? Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it is.
So keep doing fun things. God, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I can't believe I have to give him this advice. I'm like, you're Ron White. How are you thinking about how much fun are you having when you're killing up there? But I think that was the drinking thing too, man.
Yeah, he's sober now.
Yeah, it was drinking, and it was also he needed a tribe, you know, and he had the tribe a little bit when he was in California, you know, but he was always on the road a lot, you know, and he just decided that being in the center of the country was better. So he was like patient zero of the Austin Revolution. Like, a lot of people think it was me, but it was really Ron, because I came here knowing that Ron was here. I was like, at the very least, Ron's here, you know?
It's two of us.
I'm like, I'm not living like this in California. You're not doing this to me. I know what you're doing. I was like, the fucking caged animal in me is like, I'm getting out. This is gonna go sideways. I'm not gonna be a part of this.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Okay, at least Ron's there. I was like, my life is gonna be worse than it ever was before. My life is gonna be, all my friends are gone. They're not here. I'm in the middle of the country. Maybe I'll see them every now and then. Maybe I'll have to book shows to see them. But at least Ron's here. That's what I decided.
Patient zero.
Yeah, he was patient zero. So, you know.
And now he hangs out every night. We get Ron every night.
Oh, he's lovely.
He's the
He's lovely.
We were hanging one time. This is my favorite Ron story, and it's just me, you, and Ron in the green room. And you gifted him a really nice Rolex, and you guys were having a sweet moment. And I couldn't believe I was there to see it. I was like, damn, this is really cool. And you gifted it to him, and y'all were having a conversation. I'm like, wow. And he takes off his Rolex, and he tosses it to me. He goes, there you go, Derek. And I go, holy shit, Ron, for real? And he says, fuck no, bro. Give me my Rolex. Give me my Rolex back, you idiot. And then you went, so you go, that's the most fucked up shit I've ever seen, Ron.
I forgot about that until right now.
It was most evil.
So evil.
You literally were like, Ron, why would you do that?
Well, I thought everybody's just giving out Rolexes up in this
I
bitch.
just thought that was going to be a great moment. And my face was like,
That's hilarious.
but he's the man, dude. I can't believe I'm friends with him because I've been a fan since I was a kid.
I feel that the same way. Yeah, I feel that way about a lot of guys. Like, I can't believe I'm friends with you. It's nice. It's not. Well, that's good, right? You never stop being both a fan and a person who does it.
Yeah.
I try to separate it. I try to separate me as a comic off stage versus me as a comic on stage. I really do. You know, so I can just be a fan.
Oh, I see
You
what
know,
you're saying. Yeah.
Because when I was younger, I used to watch someone going, "Oh, I would do it differently." Like, if they suck, I'll do that. If they suck, I'll go like, "Oh, that premise." I think I'm not explaining this very well. You know, I mean, I start picking it apart that way. But I like to just be a fan. I do like to just watch, because I think a lot of people are real hesitant to give up flowers. Right, as
Yeah, they
kids
are.
like to say.
Yeah.
But the reason why is because they don't feel good about comparing themselves to this person who may be doing better than them. So there's a feeling like, he's all right. There's a little bit of that, you know, which
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It doesn't make sense to me either because watching this game for the 10 years I've been doing it, it's like, oh, like there's no, like everyone tells me that Sebastian was like, nobody knew that he was going to be one of the biggest arena acts we've ever seen when he first started, when he was coming around.
Yeah,
You hear
you gotta
older
figure it
comics.
out.
Yeah, be like, oh, he was good, but you didn't see that for him. So it's like, oh, there is no point to judge somebody harshly because this game is long.
Yeah, the game's long, and you figure things out. I was terrible when I started. There's no way to not be. Especially me. I was socially retarded. I've been hit in the head 150,000 times. I mean, there's some fucking issues there. There were some issues. And I was socially retarded because I spent, like, from age 15 to 21, just did nothing but travel around the country fighting people. That's all I did. So my version of a young adulthood was very weird. Like, it was 100% competition.
Yeah.
That was all it was. You know, that's all I did.
Well, when you hear Joey talk about you when you were younger, like, oh, he was an animal. You know, like Joe was just an animal. Before you apparently started smoking weed, he was like, you were way more different about it.
But I think a lot of fighters have a hard time transitioning into being a regular person, and I was only an amateur fighter. You know, I couldn't imagine being a guy like, like Dustin Poirier, who's about to retire. You know, like transitioning to being a regular person. He's been this fucking savage killer for so long at the highest level. Like that's like the highest level in the world. Inside the octagon, knocks out Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow! And that guy's got to transition to being a regular person. For me, there was no screaming crowds. It was weird high school auditoriums and trying to give people concussions. That's all it was. That was all it was. So, but there was no glory and no money, and it cost me some of my health, for sure. There's, and fear. Constantly living in a state of anxiety that you're gonna have to fight against soon. Constantly. And for some weird reason, I was always like, why am I doing this to myself? I don't have to do this. Like, this doesn't pay me any money. I don't have to do it. Why do I keep signing up to do this?
The NBA 82 game grind is done, and now the real fun begins. The NBA playoffs are here, and it's time for all the high stakes drama, clutch moments, and jaw-dropping plays. I can't wait. If you're looking to make the playoffs even more exciting, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered as an official sports betting partner of the NBA. From the play-in games all the way through to the finals, now's your time to back your favorite players and teams as they chase glory. All season long, DraftKings has been the go-to spot for NBA player props, and that doesn't stop now. Want to make your playoff experience even more intense? Try placing a bet on your favorite player's performance. Ready to place your first bet? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, lock in your bets, and let's make this playoff run unforgettable. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Make it a playoff run to remember with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code ROGAN. That's code ROGAN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Did you ever have any ambition to go pro, to take it to the next level? Or?
Yeah, but there was no money. I remember I got offered $500 to do a kickboxing fight. And so if I did that kickboxing fight, I couldn't fight amateur anymore. And I was like, $500. So then I can't, like if I ever decided to try to compete in the Olympics again, because I was trying to get on the national team to compete in the Olympics. But somewhere along the line, I got a little disenchanted with Taekwondo, and one of the ways that it happened is I started kickboxing, and I started getting beat up because my hands were dog shit. So I was really good kicking, but if I got into boxing, it changes. I was terrible. My chin was up in the air. I was fucking swinging punches like a bitch. It was awful. I get hit really hard. If I hit you, you're in trouble. But It was not good. And so I realized there's a giant flaw in this. Like for actual real fights, there's a giant flaw in this. And as soon as I started kickboxing, particularly this friend of mine who's a really good boxer, Dana Rosenblatt, he was one of my training partners. He became New England middleweight champion. He beat Vinny Pazienza in a decision. He lost him one fight and then beat him in a decision. He was legit. He knocked out Howard Davis Jr., who was a Olympic gold medalist. He was a bad motherfucker. And he also, when I was training with him, made me realize that I didn't really want to do this anymore. That I was just doing this because I had done it my whole life, and this was like what I decided I was doing. And I was like, not only is there no future in this, there's a lot of brain damage coming my way. Like 100%, I'm getting it right now. And, just sparring with Dana, me and him sparring, I don't know how many times we sparred, but we could beat the fuck out of each other, dude.
Damn, really?
Oh, it was horrible. Yeah, I'd go home with headaches. And if we were in boxing range, he was tuning me up, so I was always trying to stay on the outside because his hands were way better than mine. But we cracked each other. Oh,
you and Dana White would fight?
No. My friend Dana Rosenblatt.
Okay, I was like,
no.
I heard Dana and I was like, wait a minute.
But if me and Dana were friends, we would do that too.
Yeah.
Like, I sparred with a lot of my friends. We beat the shit out of each other. It was horrible, but that's what you have to do. You know what the beautiful thing about jiu-jitsu is about kickboxing is you don't have this kind of animosity with your sparring partners, because like if you're in a good gym, in kickboxing you're always hurting each other, and it's like even if you love a guy and you spar with him, you're always hurting each other. So you always have this thing where you're like, fuck that dude. That dude gave me a fucking headache. You know what I mean? You think about getting him back. Like you think about it, he cracked you with a left hook. You're like, I am gonna get him back. I can't wait to get him back. Whereas with jiu-jitsu, you can't wait to tap somebody, but you're not hurting each other. You know, if you get hurt, it's an accident. The injuries in jiu-jitsu are usually either strain related or, you know, you didn't tap, right? It's either you strained to get out of something or you pulled yourself the wrong way or you didn't tap. But in kickboxing, like, your legs are getting fucked up every day. Wham! Wham! No matter what. And those pads, they help a little.
Damn, and they're huge, Joe, those pads. When they look like it when I watch
they
them.
help a little. Yeah, if somebody kicks you, like if Israel Adesanya kicks you with one of those pads on, that shit, you can't believe
Get the
kind
fuck
of
out of
agony that's involved in that way to make a living. So I was only doing it because I didn't know what to do. I was still, but I wasn't the same person that I used to be. I was at one point in time I was just a mad dog, and then I realized like I'm gonna get really hurt, and there's no future in this. You know?
Wow. Were you already 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or did you just stop? 2 feet in, but you were like, I'm done.
You know what it was really? I had one fight when I fought in the Nationals in Anaheim, and I beat the first guy, so I got into the second round. And the second guy was this kid, I think he was from Illinois, I don't remember, but he was like super aggressive. And I hit him with the hardest wheel kick I've ever thrown in my life. It was perfect. He charged in with like a left switch kick. So he was like, did a hopping roundhouse kick off the left side, and I recognized it right away. There was a pattern. He was making this pattern when he was moving. He would do this thing, and then he would always do this. He would do this thing, and then he would always do this. So I saw that pattern, and I said, here it comes. And so he went with this hopping roundhouse kick. I countered with this wheel kick. And I hit him so hard that my heel was sore for days. I was limping for days because of the way my heel bounced off his face. And he face planted, snoring. They snore when they go out. Have you ever seen anybody get knocked out?
Oh, yeah.
On the internet, of course you have. Well, I'd seen it a few times in the gym. It's spooky. It's spooky. And so my thing, what I would always do when I'd knock somebody out is walk away like it was nothing. Like, that's what I always do. Like, that's, I didn't celebrate. I just would turn my head and walk away.
Oof.
And I was talking to my friend Junksick, who was, he was U.S. national champion. He was a training partner of mine. He was sitting in a seat, and I said, I'll never forget this. I'm like, he hasn't gotten up. And so then they get him an ambulance. And so they put this kid on a stretcher, and they have him sitting out there for 30 minutes, and he's just on the stretcher for 30 minutes, and then they bring him in the ambulance, and they take him to the hospital. And I'm like, yo.
When he said he wasn't moving yet, did you feel like?
Yeah, he could be dead. So this is what scared me. So I had this trainer, this instructor, who's like one of the best Taekwondo instructors in the world. And I say to him, what he said to me, he goes, I heard you had a really good knockout at the Nationals. And I said, yes, sir. I said it was kind of scary because I thought for a while he was dead. And he goes, sometimes they die. And he walked away. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. And he was fucking serious. He used
like
to
he's
train,
in Rocky IV.
He used to train troops in Vietnam. Like, he was a hardcore dude. He was hardcore.
Oh, my God. Sometimes they die?
Sometimes they die. Yeah. I think it was Vietnam where he trained troops. I forget where he trained troops. But he was like an elite Taekwondo instructor. And he was, his mind was like, his name is Master Jae-Hun Kim, and he's the guy who runs the Jae-Hun Kim Taekwondo Institute. That's his business, and that's the place where he was like one of the few guys that was trained under General Chae Young-gi, who was the founder of Taekwondo. So it was like there's a handful of black belts that were trained by this one guy. So it was like a different style. So their style was very violent and very power-oriented, whereas there was like an Olympic style that was emerging, that was very points-oriented. It was just move fast and like tap and score, and they would yell and shit like that. Like every time they'd hit, they'd scream out. And so the Olympic style was more effective at winning tournaments. And so the best guys were adopting like this Olympic style. But there was an older style that was just, maybe they telegraphed the moves a little bit more, and maybe it was a little slow, but the impact was very different. Those guys were killers.
Yeah.
They were knocking people unconscious. It was very scary. So that's the gym that I grew up in. So I had this very fortunate place that I just stumbled into. You know, I happen to be like one of the best taekwondo gyms in the country, especially for generating power, because they like really emphasize heavy back work. Like he really emphasized heavy back work. He's like, you have to generate power. If you hit somebody and it doesn't hurt, that's ridiculous. You gotta be able to hit someone and just put them out.
Would you get into a lot of street fights before this, or even before taekwondo? You weren't even getting into fights and stuff
Before
like that?
taekwondo, I was a pussy.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't fight at all. So like, why would I get in fights? I was trying to get away from fights. I was trying to avoid everybody. I was terrified.
Wow.
And so I just got tired of being fucked with because I was a pussy. Because I would get nervous. Because I moved around a lot. I didn't have a lot of friends. We moved a bunch of times when I was a kid. So I was always around new kids. And I wasn't big, so they would fuck with me. You know, it's just normal. So and I didn't know how to fight, so it bothered the shit out of me. So I'm like, well, there's only one solution. You know, you got to become what you're scared of.
So you put yourself into taekwondo. You were like, hey, I want to do this.
Yeah, got a job, started working, washing dishes at Newport Creamery, got enough money so I could take taekwondo lessons.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
Joe.
And then I started going every day. So after a while, he realized like it would be better if I was just there all the time instead of working. And so he gave me a job.
I did not know that about you.
Yeah, so I was
dude.
teaching. So I started teaching when I was like 15. I was teaching people when I was 15. And then when I was 19, I was teaching at Boston University. I used to teach a class, accredited class. It was pass, fail, A. I would tell everybody, it would count towards your GPA. So I'd say, if you come here, you get an A. That's all you have to do. Just try. You're going to get an A. And it counts towards your GPA. And I just tell them that at the beginning of the class. I go, if you can't come, if you can't make it, just call me and tell me that you can't make it, but I want you to come. I want you to come every time you can. And if you do that, I'm going to get you better. We're all going to learn something. I'm going to really get into this. So I was really good at teaching. I was really, really into
That's how
teaching.
you were in there. In the gym when we work out,
Yeah.
you had that same energy. So it's like, oh, that came from a place.
Yeah, well, that's what I was doing for a living. So from 15 to 19, I was just teaching. So what my instructor allowed me to do, I guess I was training after about 6 months or so. He said, look, like, you could train here for free. All you have to do is teach private lessons. And I was like, great. So I would teach people, the new people. I would teach them how to bow. I would teach them how to tie their gi on. I would teach them how to stand. I would teach them different techniques, and I would go through them and get them so they're ready to join into group classes. Because you couldn't just go into group classes. You wouldn't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like that front kick, you're like, ooh, looking around. Someone's got to teach you how to do it. So it was always like a big deal to let like one of your little birds loose into the main class. Like you teach them, get their front kick going, get the side kick going. They go through a series of private lessons. I tell them to practice on their own, use the mirror, give them a bunch of like things to think about as they break down the movements.
And you just literally, I've seen you do it in there. That is what the mothership is. It's really just a fucking dojo to get better.
Yeah.
And everything is about everyone pushing each other to get better and like learning together.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, you've been on this teacher shit.
Well, that's also what my instructor explained to me when I was really young, too. Like, I say this all the time, and I even said it on the podcast yesterday. Martial arts are a vehicle for developing your human potential. That's what it is. It's just you're using martial arts as a way to get better at life. Because this is a really hard thing, and if you could do this really hard thing, other things won't be as hard. You'll be able to, you'll have more mental and physical horsepower for regular everyday life. You'll have more ability to overcome adversity and weird moments, uncomfortable moments. You're used to being uncomfortable. It's fun. You'll be fine. It's different. Yeah.
See, I came up, I played football, college football. Like I was a football player my whole life. And that was,
Bro, that was another one to break down.
that's,
How's your head? How's your head, dog?
I'm addicted to training porn. There's some problems. So I got some problems. I got some demons, dude. But I agree. But the idea of like, because that's so yourself. You're dealing with fighting. You're dealing with yourself.
You're always yourself.
Whereas I came. My whole thing was team. Team. You get to lean on people. You're leaning on each other, and that's what's making you better. Is how do we play the best as a group?
Right.
you know.
Well, that's great too, and I think that's probably more beneficial to society. Is learning how to play in a team. My problem was like, when I
I was a bad motherfucker,
Bro, look at
dude.
you, handsome all thin. Look at you, so handsome. You're good looking. You look like a fucking model, dog.
Oh,
look
dude.
At you.
I went to that's one of the top high school football
Bro, we
schools
gotta
in
get
the
you
country.
back to looking like that. You could look like that again.
I know.
Just get away off the car.
They're so good. Oh, they're so good, dude. Come on. Hot
They're
Cheetos
so
and pasta.
good.
Oh,
They're
my
so
God.
good.
And then just, because you stopped, you told me the other day you haven't been drinking again. You stopped
It's
drinking,
been-
right?
Yeah, it's been more than a month now.
Yeah,
a month
'cause-
and some weeks.
You walked in and you were like, 3 weeks off, boys. And I was like, Jesus, fuck, dude. This
Bro,
is unbelievable.
I had all this fucking side fat and belly fat that just went away. But most importantly, I just feel better. Like I never have days where I'm recovering from being drunk. Like I sound like shit now because I have allergies, which is hilarious because I always made fun of people. I was like, they're like, yeah, in 3 to 5 years you'll get allergies. I'm like, shut up, pussy. Like, I'm not getting these fucking bitch ass allergies you guys get. Now here I am. Ugh.
Yeah, so you might be.
Yeah, it's so annoying. It's so annoying for everybody to be right.
Oh, yeah, my wife gets me on that honey, natural. If you get honey from a local honey, it gets rid of your allergies.
I've heard that too, but the lady that we had in here that was a beekeeper said it's bullshit. Yeah. Not only that, she said most honey that, not most, she said a lot of honey that you buy in the store is not really honey. Yeah, they fuck you. They put like corn syrup and fucking this and that. And yeah, they have fake honey.
Fuck, man.
Isn't that crazy?
Is anything real?
Isn't that crazy?
Why would they do that?
China. They're getting us. They're like, these dummies, they're not going to check.
Because
Do
it's
you
like,
remember what she said, Jamie? What percentage she said? But she did say that a lot of honey is fake honey, right? Bro.
it doesn't make sense because that's such a thing that's been natural in my head since the dawn of time, right? Honey.
Have you ever seen those cats that in the Himalayas? Is it Tibet? Where is it where they get that psychedelic honey? Called Mad Honey. Remember, Jamie? Who brought that in for us? We did it during the show. Yeah, we took some Mad Honey during the show.
How was the trip?
That's right. Shout out to Sonny. It wasn't. I mean, that was fun. We really didn't do anything that crazy. We definitely knew that you were on something. But he was like, take a little bit. I'm like, fuck this. Give me a teaspoon. I took the whole teaspoon. I'm like, let's go. I'm like, I wanna go. Like Joey Diaz always says, I wanna meet the devil. Fuck the microphone.